folk radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Well. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Today's Tuesday, September 6th. 250 days into the new year, just 116 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States, hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I am your oh so humble host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking tonight, everybody? Tonight, we have very special guest. Margo Mateas is here live in the bunker. She's sitting to my left right now. We're going to talk about her new book, Freed by the Light. And I think she's even got some tickets for David Icke up in San Francisco that we're going to give away later on tonight on the show. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow night, Caroline Corey is going to be here. And then on Thursday night, it's another Fader night with John Rappaport, open lines, and his No More Fake newsroom. The call-in number tonight is 323-825-5045. This is a very special Labor Day event. And Margo's here. We're going to have a long conversation, but she's also here to talk to you. It's going to be a busy night on the phones. Just get in line, call often. If you don't get through, if you don't get put on hold, call back. But Margo is going to do some readings tonight with all of you. But how does she do it? We're going to find out about all of that first. So there you go. All right. You can follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. Hashtag F2B for the sandbox and hashtag F2BQ for Fade to Black questions. That's F2BQ. And as always, everything is feeding in live to my left. I will follow Twitter and interact throughout the show tonight. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Also, you can follow Margo at Margo Mateas. Now, in Twitter right now, Margo's links for Twitter and everything else are up in Twitter, so you can go and follow and like and subscribe and go check out Margo's website. Okay, it's freedbythelight.com, right? Freedbythelight.com? Yes, sir. That's it. All right, let's do this. I am fired up. Margo and I were just yapping before the show and actually forgot that we were doing a show tonight. And one of the things that is great about having somebody here, and I know that you guys hear me talk about this every time I have a guest, but I'm alone. I'm alone in a bunker. I've got no windows. It's dark in here. I'm burning incense, and I'm alone. And I do this every single night. And when I'm over at Coast, I'm alone, right? I very rarely have somebody in here. And it's just awesome when I do. You can feel the mood change. And I'm fired up. So very excited. We've been partying. We're kind of jacked up on Dr. Pepper and pizza. And we are ready to go tonight. Now, let's get the show cracking. I want to get to Margo as soon as I can. David Icke is live from the UK. Now, he's coming over to the United States. I want everybody to go right now. His worldwide wake-up tour starts in the United States, in New York this weekend. You want tickets for the event, just go right now to jimmychurchradio.com and click on the Worldwide Wake Up Tour. and that'll take you over to his website for tickets and info. It's this weekend in New York, September 17th here in Los Angeles, and we're all going to be there. The Fadernauts are going to be there. The crew's going to be there. So we would love to see you down there for that event. Margo's got tickets for San Francisco, and that is on the 24th up at the Craneway Pavilion up in San Francisco. Great facility up there. So all of the tickets and availability right now are over on David Icke's website. Just click on the banners, and it'll take you straight there. All right, and also I want to remind everybody that tonight is the last night for Tom DeLonge's special offer for all of the Fadernauts. You can get his book, Secret Machines, Book 1, Chasing Shadows, with the promo code FADE2BLACK. That's Fade to Black with no spaces in it, just FADE2BLACK. You get 15% off. We have a banner set up for that right now over at jimmychurchradio.com. Just click on that. It is good through midnight tonight. And while you're there, don't forget CCCP Publishing. Their banner is there. Order Future Esoteric by Brad Olson for the very special price of $12.97 for you Fadernauts. And CCCP Publishing will throw in an extra book just for you. Use the promo code Jimmy, and that's all you got to do there. All right, and then, of course, Life Change Tea. Right before the show tonight, I did my colostrum, and Margo will attest that I have... Here, I'm going to turn on your mic, Margo. Say hi to everybody. Oh, man, she's scrambling. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, Fadernauts. Hello, world.
How many bottles of supplements are on that table?
Dude, I totally noticed the supplements. I was like, Jimmy is so healthy. You would not believe. This is way cool. There's like 5 bottles, 6 bottles. It's amazing. Maybe 8, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
There's 8.
Yeah. And I do it every single day. Life Change Tea. Everybody here is on the program. My friends, my family. Life Change Tea. GetTheTea.com. I did my colostrum today right before the show, and life is good. And you can help support yourself, support the show, support our sponsors. Just go to getthetea.com. The banners are over at Jimmy Church Radio. And, of course, use Jimmy when you order, either over the phone or online, and you will get free shipping on your order. All right, let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to... Roger Waters. Roger Waters is 73 years old today. Can't believe it. And one of my... Who is the real front man for Pink Floyd? Is it David Gilmour or is it Roger Waters? That's a tough call. And one of the things that I used to trip on when I would see Pink Floyd sing, when I'd see them perform, is who was singing what. I'd be like, dude, David Gilmour sings that song, right? So who's the real front man? Well, Roger Waters today is 73. He's one of the greats. And also today, one of my favorite actors, and he has turned into one of my go-to guys right now, and that's Idris Elba. Today he is 44. And I discovered him. I feel like he's my own little personal guy, because I loved him in The Wire. He was so good, and The Wire was one of the best series ever on television. But then he pops in Rock and Rolla, right? And he was just Toby Kebbell, our boy, who's the star of Rock and Rolla, and so was Idris in that. And then Prometheus and Thor and Pacific Rim and Zootopia, Avengers of Ultron, right? Avengers, Age of Ultron. He is like the guy today, but I think I just feel like he's my own little secret. And happy birthday today to Idris. Today he is 44. On this day in history, in 1976, this is for the guys out there. We all remember, if you're old enough, can remember back to 1976. This event freaked out the world, but this is a guy thing. Soviet Air Force Lieutenant Viktor Belenko flew his MiG-25 out of the Soviet Union and landed it in Japan and was granted asylum in the United States. And it was just one of those stories. How crazy of a guy. do you have to be, especially back then in 1976 in the Soviet Union, to be a lieutenant, flying the most secretive plane in the world, the MiG-25, that was the fastest, the highest, the baddest plane in the world, and you go and you fly that thing to Japan. You are a crazy dude. Victor Belenko. And then it turned out, once the United States got all of their experts in there and checked out that MiG-25, that it just turned out to not be the high-tech plane that we thought it was. It was fast, but it was one of the scientists that checked out the plane said the only thing that could have been worse is if it was made of wood. So there you go. Fader fact, Australians are the world's biggest meat eaters. Did you know that? Margo, bringing you in. Bring in Margo live. Did you know that Australians are the world's biggest meat eaters?
I did not know that.
I did not know that. Now, they consume. Now, if it wasn't Americans, then you kind of go down the list. Canadians, I would say that they eat a lot of meat, right? Okay. Brazilians, Argentinians, right? They're known for the beef. They eat a lot of beef, right?
Right.
I would think so.
Totally.
All right. But Australians eat over 200 pounds of meat a year. That's a pound a day.
Who's ever even seen a cow in Australia? I mean, you don't ever think of that.
That is a pound. 200 pounds a year, 365. Okay, so I said a pound a day. All right. 3/4 of a pound of meat a day.
We need to go open a colonoscopy place out there for sure.
You ain't lying. And second place is Americans. Yeah, I thought Americans would be number one. Australians are the beef eaters, 200 pounds a year. Wow. Okay. Tonight, our very special guest, she's here with me live right now in the bunker. Margo Mateas is here. Tomorrow night, Caroline Corey's going to be here. Thursday night is another Fader night with John Rappaport, open lines, and no more fake newsroom. Call a number tonight. It's going to be jammed up. We're going to open up the phones in a little bit. Not quite yet because it's going to be jammed up all night. But when I do, that number is going to be 323-825-5045. Now, I've got a kind of an open-ended rant tonight because I got 2 or 3 things that I want to talk about. And one of them is this deal, and I'm not here to offend anybody. I certainly don't want to offend Margo. She's a guest. I don't want to offend anybody. But there are some times where my opinion, I need to voice it. And there's something going on right now over in the Middle East with Iran messing with our Navy. And this has been going on, look, like with Russia buzzing our planes and the Russian Navy, and we get that cat and mouse, right? Okay. It's kind of a mutual respect. But this thing, because they're as big as, it's a mutual thing. But a little country, a country that shouldn't be messing around like Iran, because we're an imperialistic country. We want to take over the world. I get that. So save your email. You don't have to remind me of our intentions in the world. We have 1,000 military bases around the world. No other country's got that. Russia's got like 2. China's got like 2. And we've got 1,000. And we feel like we have the right to do. But when it comes to what we're doing in the Mediterranean and those waters over there, there's a lot of piracy, there's a lot of hijacking, hostage taking, and oil tankers. We're not just there to occupy; we're there also to police those waters. And if nobody else did it, it would be like the wild, wild west out there. But that being said, one needs to respect our Navy. That's it. We're not there to cause trouble. And it is bothering me right now that Iran just thinks that they can go and fart around and bring these boats up really close and like a little gnat and goofing off. And quite frankly, it's not going to end well. I don't want problems. I don't want war. I don't want anything. But I'm telling you right now, if it was me and my finger was on the button and that happens again, I'm sinking boats. That's the only way somebody's going to learn their lesson. You just don't go and do that. And when their oil tankers, that they've just got this nuclear deal done. They just got the nuclear deal done. We just sent them $400 million on a frigging skid and delivered it to the $400 million in cash, ducks quacking in the pond, and they want to turn around and do this kind of stuff. Now, look, I'm not some right-wing, left-wing, liberal, right-wing, warm, and no, I'm not any of that. I'm just talking about simple respect. And when this is going down, I'm offended by it. Because with the nuclear deal that just happened, and now they're back into the oil markets, and their tankers are out there being escorted by our ships to make sure that they are getting safe passage around the world. And they want to go and goof around with our Navy. You know what? Quite simply, sometimes a little kid doesn't understand unless you slap them. And that's it. You go out to the backyard, you break a twig off the tree, and you go up and you smack somebody. And I don't want to see any of this happen. But it's like they are asking for it. And I keep hearing about it, and it's continuing, and I just want it to end. And if they really want to provoke, they want to go and poke a stick in the eye of the bear to see what's going to happen, they need to get slapped. And that's it. So that's my little take on that. I'm just done with it. We go and send them $400 million on a skid, and then they turn around and do this kind of crap. Anyway, let me hit my coffee. I'm fired up. All right. Next, the Air Force wants to detonate plasma bombs in the sky. Now, okay, I have been doing a bunch of research on HARP, and I've been doing it for about a year. And the HARP facility up in Japan, up in Alaska, up in Japan, same thing, up in Alaska was shut down. And that facility is no longer running. By the way, if you want the HARP facility up in Alaska, they'll give it to you. Yeah, just ask for it. They'll sign over the property. Yeah, they don't want to. They just want to give it away. I'm not kidding. Yeah, pretty trippy, huh? I've got you live. Say wow again.
Wow.
There you go. All right. So, if you want the HARP facility up in Alaska, just send a letter to your congressman, and they'll sign the deed over to you. But the HARP facilities that are around the world, the official ones, there technically aren't any. But there's probably 24 facilities, not only in the Soviet Union, there's some in China, of course, in Australia, in Great Britain, up in Greenland, up around the North Pole. There's a lot of action up there where they're using these facilities to ignite the ionosphere. But more on that in a bit. But in the studying of HARP, it was announced this week that the United States Air Force wants to detonate plasma bombs. Now, the reason for that, it's kind of crazy because the bomb that they want to use actually, now, and you have to listen to me here, is that the bomb itself is a chemical reaction that heats up a piece of metal beyond its boiling point up in the ionosphere, and it ignites. It's a crazy bomb, and it sounds just like what it is. It's a frigging plasma bomb. It's molten plasma exploding out in the ionosphere. And the reason why they want to do that, and I know this sounds nutty, but just follow me. The ionosphere is how radio works around the world. Okay, so a radio signal goes out, bounces off the Earth, and then goes up and bounces off the ionosphere and bounces back down to Earth. Now, when it bounces off the ionosphere, some of the radio signals leak through it and go out into space. How good your ionosphere is how much that radio signal is deflected back to the Earth. So the thicker the ionosphere, the more that you can spread these radio waves around the world. Why would that be important to the Air Force? Well, it's military, right? So to be able to broadcast these bandwidths and get them to keep them effective, you want to have a solid ionosphere. So their brainiac move, because it's changed, the ionosphere has changed a little bit. That's part of the HARP program. That's another thing. It's weather control and other things. But the ionosphere is important to the military for radio waves. So, and they want to be able to do some other things with this. And they're suggesting that, look, it's actually good because it's the ionosphere protects from solar flares, and we need that for the solar flare protection. So if we blow up these plasma bombs, we get the double whammy. We get the protection from solar burst, right? And then we also can keep our radio waves bouncing and keeping clean on Earth. So that's the thing. So they got a contract. One team comprised of researchers from Drexel University and General Sciences is developing this controlled bomb that uses this chemical reaction that heats up metal. Once vaporized, the metal reacts with atmospheric oxygen to create ionized plasma. And another proposal under development by researchers is from the University of Maryland and Enig Associates that also use vaporized metals to supercharge the atmosphere. Both proposals are, no pun intended, completely explosive. And I can't imagine watching this from Earth and watching plasma bombs blowing up in the atmosphere. But this is real. They're going to do it. They've got 2 contracts that have been finalized right now. Now, this is the deal. The Air Force is working on plans to improve this radio communication over long distances that I've been talking about. But their idea is not necessarily these bombs being dropped from planes. Now they've signed another contract with a company that is going to blow up microplasma bombs on micro satellites. And I'm like, wait a minute now. They literally want a fleet of micro satellites. We're talking about in the thousands that will fly around the world and ignite and to stimulate the ionosphere. It's like the craziest when it comes down to things like this, when it's GMOs, where it's CRISPR genome DNA editing stuff. Do we really, really want to mess with Mother Nature, right? Because this is not just my opinion, but I know that every time you mess with Earth, Earth wins. You're not going to win that battle. You're not going to win. You're not going to defeat the ocean. You're not going to if an earthquake's going to take you out, it's just going to take you out. If lightning's going to take you out, it's just going to, if a flood's going to come, the flood's going to come, right? You're not going to heat things up. You're not going to cool things down. You're not going to control iceberg, Titanic. Nature wins every single time, right?
Absolutely.
So going out and igniting plasma bombs and plasma bombs, micro satellites all around it's just like the Earth is going to burp. It's going to puke. It's not going to be happy, and you're not going to win against Mother Nature. You just need to let it take its course. The reason why I am able to speak on this microphone, the reason why you can have babies, the reason why you can watch television and I Love Lucy reruns, right, is because for some reason on this planet, we have got a protective layer out there in space that allows us to live. Right?
Right.
We didn't create that.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't create that. That's not our idea. Right? That's Mother Nature running things.
Yes, somebody had a better idea than
somebody us. And could be God. Could be God.
Could be.
Could be. But it wasn't us.
Definitely not.
And it's not up to us to go out and change these things. It's not up to us to change corn. Well, I mean, the thought of, check this out. This is my thing. Blowing up plasma bombs and GMO corn, right? Okay. All right. So we get better radio signals right now. Let's go and blow up the bombs and we can feed the world with GMO corn. All right. Let's go and do it. 50 years from now, right? This is my fear. My grandchild, my great-grandchild, it's going to be born with, 6 legs.
It's going to be a robot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something crazy, and to have the doctor come in and I go, So how's my grandson? Well, just, he's got flippers. So just get him a pool and he'll be a happy kid for the rest of it. I'm like, dude, well, GMO corn. Whatever. You don't know the ramifications of all of this 50 years from now, 25 years from now. One of the things that is freaking me out beyond belief is when I was growing up, we're the same age, Margo. When I was growing up, there are like 2 or 3 things that I really remember from my childhood.
And we both are from Chicago, right?
Right.
So we had the same childhood.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
That I remember in Waukegan, Illinois, is in the summer, bees beyond belief, bees everywhere, running around collecting bees, right? Putting them in jars with a little grass and a couple of flowers, because bees were everywhere. There's no bees anymore. And monarch butterflies.
Yes.
I remember monarch butterflies, by the gazillion. Now, today, over at the house, Rita and I, earlier this week, I'm not kidding, about a week ago, we saw one monarch butterfly fly in our backyard, and we freaked out. Oh, a butterfly, and then a couple of days later, 2 flew in the backyard, and we were freaking out. But when I was a kid, there were bazillions of them. You couldn't see.
Now they're so specialized, they have exhibits.
Well,
you have to go to butterfly exhibits to see butterflies.
We're killing them.
Yeah.
And the fact that the most everything in the ecosystem, Mother Nature that I'm talking about, everything has its place. But the one thing that really has its place are bees. All the trees, all the fruit, all the life, everything that you know and love is there because bees are pollinating everything. They go from one tree to the next, they rub off of each other, and they do their little thing, right? And they go to the next tree, and now trees are pregnant. Now trees have life, right? And that's exactly, it's part of the ecosystem. You take bees away, and we're screwed. I mean,
that's Monsanto's plan. Kill the bees, make us dependent on their food, and their food that doesn't reproduce because they build it without seeds.
Right back to my point. GMOs.
Yes, absolutely evil.
It's just a bad idea. It's not, there is nothing good that can come from it. Not a single thing. And the only thing that's really going to drive a change there is money. Monsanto is driven to GMO corn and GMO wheat and everything else for revenue, right? Okay, I get that. But if we stop buying GMO foods, they'll stop growing it because there's wait a minute, there's more money in this organic stuff. So let's start growing that. Non-GMO. I think that'll be the future, but the only way you can just like like Iran and their boats, the only thing that you can do sometimes is slap somebody around. And that's what Monsanto's got to get here, is they've got to get slapped around a little bit and realize that GMOs are not the future. And it cannot, altering Mother Nature cannot be good for us. We got to where we are because of Mother Nature. We didn't get to where we are because we were altering things and altering DNA.
Absolutely.
So there you go. I'm going to break to commercial right here. My guest tonight, the one and only Margo Mateas. Yes, and she is indeed live to my left. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. You can follow me right now on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Follow Margo Mateas. She's in Twitter right now. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. What's up, revolutionaries? It's me, Jimmy Church. Do you have an IRS or state tax issue? Well, I did, and I called national tax experts. My problems were fixed, done, fini, and man, I gotta tell you, it was a relief. National Tax Experts are a recognized tax office that services clients in all 50 states. Doesn't matter where you live. Give them a call. I'm telling you, they take the time to understand each and every client's individual financial status as well as their financial goals. And that's exactly what you need, my brother, when you're taking on the evil 3-letter. So, seriously, give them a call today at 1-877-909-5444. Again, 1-877-909-5444. Or go check out their website, www.nattaxexperts.com. That's NATTAXEXPERTS.com. Tell them Jimmy sent you.
Hi, folks. Ronnie here reminding you that June is Health Awareness Month, sponsored by GetTheT.com. Many of you have heard our tea commercial, maybe visited the website, but haven't committed because, well, you just don't know. Skeptical. We understand. Just to remind you, our tea is not just tea. In fact, very little tea. Life Change Tea is a unique blend of 8 different herbs, removing intruders that attack your health. You brew our tea to make the concentrate, you add water, and put in the fridge. 2 8-ounce glasses a day, and life will be good. Visit us at GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. And this month is lots of fun stuff with Health Awareness Month. You could be picked and receive your order absolutely free. You never know. Read the testimonies and try our products. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. And for great health tips, visit my YouTube channel at Health Matters Now, where you can learn about health tips and how products work on your body. Join me, GetTheT.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Chase Klutsky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station, where the Fade or Nots rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Margo Mateas is here live in the bunker right now. She is an intuitive strategist, a spiritual advisor who helps people all around the world. She is the creator of the career cards, which I have here. Hand those to me, Margo. There you go. A powerful and unique oracle that is used in 14 countries that delivers practical advice for life, career, and relationships. And I'm holding them here in my hand. We were thinking about doing this tonight on the show, but we might get to this in just a second. She is a highly respected corporate trainer for Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, and the United States government. She successfully bridges the worlds of spirituality and business by using her intuition to successfully pinpoint clients' issues and solve institutional problems. She's helped many executives from companies including Verizon, Wyndham, and State Farm to become happier and more successful. She's an award-winning writer, newspaper journalist, and accomplished public speaker who began speaking professionally at just 14 years old. Margo works directly with the archangels to do energetic clearings and chakra work over the phone that result in immediate transformations. Her website is MargoMateas.com. Margo, welcome to Fade to Black.
Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Fadernauts.
There you go. What do you think of the bunker? Dark? Spooky?
It's totally awesomely
It
cool.
is. It's pretty cool.
It's cold in here too. I mean, it's really cold.
Is it cold now? It was hot before.
Yeah, no, it's in this part of it. It's cold.
Okay,
because here in the studio.
I was going to take off my clothes. I just wanted to.
I'm always open to new and exciting experiences.
Well, this is the thing. See, I'm usually here by myself, so nobody knows. It's
truly frightening what could happen in here.
I could be wearing whatever, and so I have been known to shed clothes during the show. But welcome, and it's great to have somebody in here, and the vibe totally changes, and I love the energy. So welcome to the show. Now, this is what I would like to do first. I kind of want to start off here, if we may. You were just on with me at Coast. You were on Fade to Black briefly last month when we were up in Sacramento at Awareness Live. But today, and our audience today, what I would like to do is kind of talk again about your childhood, how you got to where you are now. And I'm going to go straight from that. I want to do a little alien talk. So we're going to go straight into that, and then we'll do everything else. But that's kind of what I would like to do. And so I'm going to set you up for this. Being a professional writer and an editor at a newspaper at your age, which was 17, right? You graduated high school at the age of
15,
which is just ridiculous to me. When I was 15,
I was so ready to get out.
I was trying to clean my bong at 15. Okay, the thought of graduating high school, it was way. So anyway, but you did all of that by then. But then there was before that too, as well. Did you know that by the age of 15, let's go back to the age 5, 6. Did you have any clue that you would be blowing past your friends, graduating high school, and going and to be a professional at the age of 17? Was that your life's path from the age of 5?
I always wanted to be a teacher, and I always wanted to be a writer. So I wrote stories all the time. I would play Schoolhouse. Yeah, all those were really big themes in my life, definitely.
Right.
But yeah, I had no clue that I was going to do all that. I mean, my life has been a surprise to me, even though I'm a psychic.
What did your teachers think about you? You know, at 5 and 6, could you tell that you were maybe a little bit ahead of your classmates?
Yeah, I tested out like 5 and 6 grades ahead, even from the beginning. So I always had very supportive teachers, and teachers really were my saviors. They believed in me because I was just a weird kid.
Right.
I wasn't like everybody else.
You're
on the
weird
playground.
now. Okay.
Totally weird.
So I can only imagine. You know, it's funny. All of us in this circle, the fringe, that this family of ours, I look at every single one of them, and I just think, man, you were the weirdest kid.
Totally.
Because I know I was. Right. So. But when did you start to have this knowledge of something else going on in the world, and that's beyond what we can touch and the tangible? When did you start to figure that out?
I think I was very young. I mean, like I said previously, when my grandfather died before the age of 6, I remember being really bummed out and surprised that he didn't come and see me.
Right.
So I was already very tuned into the spirit world, very empathic, could feel things, could know things.
Well, okay, let me jump in. You were upset that he didn't come and see you, but you knew something was going on. Were you in communication with somebody else in the spirit world? Did you know that there was a spirit world?
Yes, I did.
And who were you? How were you connected to it?
There were some experiences that I had, both in dream state and regular states.
Such as?
Well, I used to wake up screaming about being on the spaceships.
Right.
And, I had a lot of strange things. I mean, I knew that there were really weird things going on in my room, like in the energies. I knew things were watching me. I knew things were trying to get me. So I was very aware of light and dark.
Okay, when you dropped the word spaceships, how old were you?
Before the age of, maybe before the age of 7, probably 6 or 7.
Okay, that's nuts.
And then another major one at 11.
Okay, so let's stay at 7 first. When you say spaceships, was this something that was a real event, or were you thinking it was a dream?
It felt like a dream. I just was waking up, and my mom was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I was on the spaceship. They took me on the spaceship."
Were you watching sci-fi? Did you?
Probably. I mean, I was terrified of vampires because my mom watched Dark Shadows.
Oh,
right?
I love Dark Shadows, right?
I would always put the covers up over my neck and all that. I was terrified of all that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
So the paranormal was very, really talked about in my house. My mom was a born-again crazy Christian. So, at 11 years old, I read Satan is Alive and Well on Planet Earth by Hal Lindsey. So I was really dialed into all that strange stuff.
Yeah, I remember that book, actually.
Totally.
But the thing is, when you're having such vivid memories and dreams at that age of something so specific, Do you think that these were real events? Looking as an adult now, looking back,
I think very probably yes.
Very probably.
Yeah.
Is that, do those go together? So
Lori's on my list to see.
Yeah,
to
right.
Deal with this last thing.
Did you have memories of who was on the ship?
It was like the Greys. I mean, but this is more like I didn't really have any memories specifically. I just remember like a bridge,
right?
You know, when I would wake up screaming, like having been brought back to my bed or woken up from a dream or whatever. But the one in 11, it was more like the inspection, you know, that a lot of us experienced in the 70s.
I've had a lot of guests on. I never had, when I was young, just to let you know, I didn't have these experiences. My experiences all happened as an adult. But I've had so many guests and friends that I've talked to about this, that these experiences when they were very, very young. And one of them, one of those experiences that plays over and over again was your friends, right? I was playing with my friend, you know, and you don't know who they are, but that's what that's what a lot of experiencers talk about. The Greys coming in the room, you know, and playing or whatever. For you, was it like that? Were they your friends? Did you feel friendly?
No. And in fact, the only good dreams I had about friends were invisible friends, and I understood them to be angels. And I was always chasing demons with the angels in my dreams.
Interesting. And now, was that a direct result of your upbringing in church, or were those, again, real events?
Those are real events, and I think it has to do with who I am and my destiny. I mean, that doesn't feel like it was created by circumstances. I think it was circumstances were going on around me, but I was a big player in that.
We were talking right before the show about this exact subject, religion and UFOs and religion and aliens. And if you are living in a world before airplanes, before flight, before balloons, so we can go back 300 years, go back 400 years, go back 5, go back, pick a time, right? Any time before that. Well, there's nothing in the sky but buds, right? There's nothing in the sky but insects. You look up, that's what you see. But if you looked up in the sky, 500 years ago, and you saw anything else but birds, what are you seeing? Well, God, right? Is it, what else are you going to explain to somebody else about what this is? You're not get, aliens or ET or off-world or anything like that. That kind of science doesn't come into play right now or back then, and certainly not a couple of thousand years ago. So when you reference angels today, right, and you're talking about angels and we're talking about ET, do you think that those same references would have been made 1,000 years ago, that possibly it was ET that they were talking to or seeing, and but they said angels, and that's the way that the mythology starts to get established?
Yeah, the whole cosmology of religion is so fascinating, because we get caught up in these trappings of what is it and what form does it take and how does it feel and what does it say. And I really believe during those times that people did think that the things that came from the heavens in these bright, shiny vehicles with all this light around them and appeared in a burning bush, I really believed that they thought that they were gods, but they weren't. They weren't. And when you can zoom out far enough vibrationally, then you can see that there are ETs, and they're just a species just like us. We're all children of the universe. We're all children of God somewhere. And there does exist a level of divine, heaven, hierarchies, all those things. Angels, to me, in my experience, are extremely real, and they're very different from ETs.
How so?
Well, for one thing, angels are omnipresent. They're not omniscient. They don't know everything. So anytime somebody comes through and says, oh, the world's going to end on X date, you pretty much know that's being fed from an alien source or some delusional source. Because angels will never, and I'm getting a chill right now, which I get when I'm telling the truth.
I just got one.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
angels will not predict because they know they're not the supreme source of the universe, and they are very tuned into the huge machine that the universe is, not literally, but the huge machinations of what it takes to run this cosmology. They don't make predictions. They don't interfere. They don't manipulate. They have no agenda but
What
to
do they
support
know?
us.
What do
Well, they know about you. They know about love. They know about, they're really just support beings. You know, they're there like hospice workers. They're there to support you, to strengthen you, to give you clarity, to give you peace. And I think one of the reasons why I wasn't even more damaged as a child is because I learned later that I always felt this pressure in my temple when I would lay in bed at night. And it felt like something was like 7 feet tall looking at me in the corner. And I could never see it, but I always felt it. And it wasn't like a malicious presence like some of the other things that I felt going on in that room.
Right.
But it was always there and always pressure in my right temple. And I've talked to several other people who've had that same experience. And I had a psychic tell me about 10 years ago, she said, "Oh, you had a power with you." I said, "What's that?" Well, they talk about powers, principalities. Powers are actually sort of a dark warrior angel. So they were placed there to really sort of keep the dark at bay. And they did protect me, even though it didn't seem like it, right?
Right.
But angels have a very different agenda than aliens. Aliens are, in a sense, like people. They're running civilizations. They have wars. They have agendas. They have egos. They're very militaristic. They have an advancing agenda of their own survival. Angels are never, ever going to die because they're ever-present energy. So they don't have any agenda. They know everything's fine, and they're constantly sourced by God.
Right, right.
So they have no need to get anything from anybody.
Right, right.
So they're just always there hanging out in goodness.
Why do boxers, after they win a boxing match and they just kick the crap out of somebody, broke his nose, knocked his teeth out, and then they go, "I'd like to thank God for..." What's going on with that? You know, after a football game, quarterback comes up. "So, how was the game?" "Well, you know what? I'd like to thank God for allowing us to kick the crap out of that other team." Why is that? Is God paying attention to something like that?
Hell no.
Okay. All right. Moving on. So let's go back to, I don't know where that came from.
No, it makes sense.
When you were 11, what was that experience?
It was actually like a religious experience. And I got my school pictures taken a couple days later, and I literally looked like I had my finger in the light socket. Like, my eyes were blown out, and my whole energy system was completely blown out. And I remember being extremely euphoric.
What happened?
It was literally one of those things like you're walking down the road at dusk, and there's this bright light coming from the sky, and you're like, "Oh, what's that bright light?" You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. And then I don't remember a lot of the specifics of that one, but the kind of the euphoria sort of wore off. I think it was an induced euphoria, not a genuine.
Was this something that you asked for?
No. No.
Did you do something bad? Did you ask for this? You know what I mean?
No, and I've been really angry about it ever since.
Oh, so what happened? I mean, obviously, it was an epiphany. It was a life-changing event, right?
Well, yeah.
You brought it up.
You asked me. I had to tell the truth.
Right. So, you know, specifically, I mean, what happened?
I really don't remember a lot. I mean, it was more like that whole, like, you know, the silver table, and we're going to do the, you know, the lights, and it's a medical exam is what it was.
You were, okay, so were you removed? Were you taken somewhere?
No, I think they just took me up in the ship, did the exam. It was kind of like catching, you know, a critter at night and looking it and putting a tag in its ear and sending it off and back in the wild.
Were you conscious?
Yes.
You were conscious. Were you in bed?
No, at this particular, I was walking home from a friend's house.
That's right. So you're walking home. So was this a missing time thing? How did you figure out that this actually happened?
I mean, there's blurs, right? So they do things for our memory, so I don't remember a lot of it. But I definitely remember walking home and seeing the bright light. It's classic.
Right.
And then the exam, which was not fun, and I was very angry about that, and extremely violated. And you really feel you're like a trapped animal.
Right. Medical instruments.
Yes.
That you can remember?
Mm-hmm.
Pain? Did they mark you? Any scarring?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And after this event was over, did you feel physically changed?
Yes.
How so?
It was like I woke up and said everything's different.
Really?
I no longer felt safe.
Really?
At all.
Who did you share this with?
No one.
How long did you keep it to yourself?
And it's interesting too, because you're asking this question, like angels and aliens and demons and aliens. So after this alien experience, I started like scanning my room like every night. Like, is there a demon in here? What's coming in here?
Right.
Because you can blur that line too. And of course, some demons are intergalactic. So
right.
It's all very fishy out there. So I went to school and I just did the best I could.
When was the first time
I prayed a lot. Actually, I prayed a lot.
Of course you did.
I stopped sleeping through the night.
Of course you did. Right.
Yeah. Developed night terrors, of course.
Yes.
And would go to sleep as soon as daybreak came. And I just became a weirder little kid.
And
I read The Lord of the Rings a lot. The whole volume.
You know what I used to do with Lord of the Rings? I'd finish all three. Throw in the Hobbit, right?
Absolutely.
And later on, the Silmarillion too, as well. But I just flip it over and start over
Me
again.
too, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Over and over again.
Me and my friends, we used to smoke so much weed. I'm talking about 14, 15, 16 years old. And this is how geeked out we were. I'm talking geek. We weren't out doing crazy things. We would get together, smoke weed, and talk about Lord of the Rings. We would all have our set of books. It was so geeked out, man. It was like Dungeons and Dragons, the Geek Squad, right? I know everybody thinks I was some ultra cool kid. I'm just telling you how it was. So we would sit around and we would have our books with like the Bible, right? It would be like Bible study, but it was Lord of the Rings study. And we would flip, yeah, man, but right here, Gandalf, man, and Bilbo, when they would, and what do you think's going to, and it was just like, dudes, and I look back, wonderful memories, but man, I'm telling you, we were geeked out on Lord of the Rings.
I had a friend like that too. It was awesome.
I used to write these songs. I was a guitar player, wannabe guitar player. They were always about Gandalf and orcs, Aragorn. Oh man. Okay.
Love me some Strider.
Yeah. I thought I was being, there. What was that bar that they went to when they were still in the Shire, where they met Strider for the first time?
I
man,
can't think of it.
I had a song named after that stupid tavern. Okay, so anyway,
that's going to drive us crazy. Help us out, Fader Knots. Call in and tweet us what the name was.
Because I'm curious as to why you would call that event at 11 almost religious, too, as well.
I think it was an induced feeling that they put in me to try and dissuade me from the fact that I'd been captured and used for experimentation. Because I knew religious experiences, and that was not it.
When you speak to the prancing pony,
thank you.
You gotta love this audience. Ryan comes in.
I knew it was something with a hoof. I'm like, there's something with a hoof. It's a hoof.
I was thinking ox, but close enough. The prancing pony. That was a terrifying part of the book, actually, because Strider, you didn't know that he was Strider yet. You didn't know that he was the good guy.
Totally.
And he was the dark, menacing guy, and he had the hat and the shadow over his face. And
the trench coat kind of thing.
Yeah. Sitting over in the corner of the bar, in the dark corner, watching, and so anyway.
Absolutely.
Man, I love those books. And the movies were actually a pretty good version of it. I thought the original cartoon that was done by what's his name back in the 70s was lame.
I never watched it.
It was lame. But
these finally got the technology finally caught up to Tolkien.
The books, the movies were just they floated me. They did a really good job. Now the thing is, today, as you take your experiences that you've had in the past and you speak with somebody that has an abduction experience that they want to talk about, or a confrontation that they want to talk about, or communication, as you listen to them, are there pieces of your experience that you're listening for to match up and connect the dots to see if it was a real experience for them, or vice versa? Back to you, where you go, wow, okay, only I know that, right? Do you do that today?
Honestly, not really. I'm more concerned. I mean, when somebody comes to me for help, I really try to take me out of it and just be that channel. So if I feel like they need some empathy or they need to know that they're validated, then I'll do that. But I mean, it's all over popular culture. I mean, it's in the circle, it's on the fringe, it's all over the place. So I already feel validated. It's just, I mean, I don't really question. It's just.
Yeah. But yes. And I get that. I totally get that. But I guess what I'm asking is something a little bit more direct. When you hear somebody share their experience and you know about yours and you have memory, you know what went on and you have details that only you know. That's it. I know that. You haven't told me everything, or you haven't told everybody everything. You have your own little thing. But when you hear somebody else's experience and they start to get into details, do you relate that back to yours?
Well, here's something that really speaks to everything that this community goes through, which is repressed memories. I would say I still have repressed memories. They are not conscious.
Are you messing with that every day?
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe on some level, yeah. Probably.
Right. And now you mentioned Lori.
Right.
Have you sat down with Lori yet? Lori,
No.
We're talking about Lori McDonald.
Yeah, she's in Sacramento, but I definitely need to make time to do that, or just open up and do that in my own process, in my own way. Yeah.
Do you really want to know?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't want to go back there. No. And that whole feeling of like being completely paralyzed in your bed when you absolutely cannot move. You can blink, but you can't breathe and you can't move. That's pretty unique experience. So it's different from sexual abuse. It's different from angels coming in your room, which I've experienced as well. That's a very unique type of terror.
We're going to take a break right here. When we come back after the break, I want to talk about consciousness right now in the world events and things that are going on right now and what that agenda is and who is influencing it, because you have a pretty unique take on this, and I think it's great. But and for the audience, this is what I think is really interesting about you, is because you have the religious side and you have the ET side and the Connect, and you had mentioned to me right before the show, and it just made me kind of go, that there's 3, 4, 5, 6 different agendas right now fighting each other. Well, I want to discuss all of that in detail right after the break, and certainly the world is in a funky spot right now, and what is causing it, and we'll do that right after the break. Our guest tonight is Margo Mateas. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Now, we're going to open up the phone lines in a bit, so everybody just relax. 323-825-5045. I will let you know. The phones have been lighting up already. I'm not picking up. I'm not even putting anybody on hold. You're going to have to wait. It's Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back.
What's anybody about the abduction? My father-in-law is this.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
You and I are so similar.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Wow.
Hello, I'm Really? And you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
Fade or not, things are never what they seem. For the past century, forbidden subjects such as UFOs, backward engineering, human abductions, secret space programs, underground bases, suppressed free energy devices, and other fantastic notions have tested the human mind, forcing it to decipher fact from fiction. Chronicling what he calls the alternative narrative, author Brad Olson gets down to the middle of it all in his best-selling book, Future Esoteric, now released in a second edition by CCC Publishing. And now, you can get Future Esoteric at a special price, plus another free book by just using the promo code JIMMY when you check out. Just click on the Future Esoteric or CCC Publishing banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Go Beckley Teppy.
IRA and 401k account holders, are you crossing your fingers for the stock market to continue its bull run? Or hoping for a miracle to pay off our $19 trillion national debt? American Bullion wants you to think for a moment. If we go through another significant stock market correction and things begin to unravel, you could suffer some serious losses. On the other hand, gold is a proven long-term asset that could hedge and protect your retirement accounts from getting washed away. Call American Bullion now and let them show you how easy it is to transfer your existing IRA or roll over your 401k into a gold IRA. American Bullion has an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and is a leader in gold IRAs. With just one call, their experts can explain everything there is to know and get you started with a free gold IRA guide. Call 1-800-545-2525. Don't procrastinate. Save your retirement. Call American Bullion now at 1-800-545-2525. That's 1-800-545-2525.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hard shell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. You can follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Use hashtag F2B for the sandbox in Twitter. You can follow Margo at Margo Mateas. Just click on the links right there in Twitter. Very simple. It's kind of funny. Right before the break, I left Margo's mic on, and she goes, my father-in-law's listening. He doesn't know. You're getting stuff out of me. I've never talked about this before. It's my job, Margo. It's my job.
And you're so damn good at it.
Well, you know, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. You're going to have to answer to somebody after this show. The phone is going to ring. So what is this about these alien spaceship you talk about? I can already hear it.
It's repressed. It's gone. I don't remember. I don't recall. Okay,
you're running for office?
Right,
yeah.
Totally.
So the world is tripping out right now. And what's weird for me is, again, you and I are the same age. So we have grown up. We went through the craziness of the 60s. It didn't seem like the world would ever get crazier than that, which was only 20 years after World War II. So you kind of remember how crazy the world was then. The Korean conflict, the 60s, the 70s with terrorism and Munich and the Olympics and the Jackal and crazy, things that were going on around the world. And it seemed pretty nutty. The Cold War and nuclear missiles, and we're on the brink of this and the tension, So it's not like today is anything new. We've grown up through some pretty crazy times. But today, looking around, the way that it is right now, the instability of the United States with this crazy election year, not knowing about our own future, what's going to happen, then we have that. We have this crazy racism thing that has been forced into us once again by the media. It may be real. I'm not so sure because I'm not a racist, so I don't feel that thing, right? But there's that, and then there's all the infighting that is going on inside of the United States. Then we have the international issues that are going on. We have the Middle East, and with the stories that you and I and the audience have heard growing up about Armageddon and the Third World War is going to start in the Middle East, and it was always like this, okay, but right now it's like this, all this uncertainty. And then you throw into the mix Russia, China, North Korea, the disrespect that is going on out there, not only back towards the United States, but all of the countries right now. It just seems like the world is in flux. We're in a crazy time. What do you think is really going on?
I think there is a war for humanity going on, and a war for our consciousness, and a war for our souls.
By whom?
Extraterrestrial forces.
And what?
That are also working with the dark.
And what? Okay. What is the use when you say souls? What if that's what's the end game with that? I mean, what do they need from us? I mean, what value are our souls?
Souls are currency. Souls are energy. Souls are eternal. So they're a force. They're a life force. And you can feed off them, you can gather them, so they're spoils in a war, right? The other thing that ETs want our souls for is so that they can use our bodies to do things here on Earth and to experience incarnation and being in a body and all those pleasures and all those things like that. But we're really spiritual real estate, and we're so valuable that all these different cabals are trying to gain dominion over us because our souls are so incredibly valuable and so incredibly juicy a commodity in the cosmos.
Where do you get your information from?
From my experience and from the experience of my clients and what the angels tell me.
And now, how do you access this? I know I asked you this before, but once again, is this light switch always turned on?
Yes.
And you don't, like right now, in the now. Yes?
Yes, of course.
It's on.
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
Yeah.
And when I ask you a question like this, are you getting information right now?
No, because I'm not channeling. I'm just being Margo.
But you could. You could, right?
I've already done it for you once.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible.
Live.
So...
Yes, conceivably so. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so back to what is going on right now. This influence that is happening today, has it always been there? For instance, we talk about the bloodlines. You just mentioned the cabal, right? So has this influence been the same influence going back to these bloodlines and Habsburgs and then beyond that, maybe back to ancient Egypt?
We've been battling reptilians from the dawn of time. So when you talk about the Genesis story, right?
Right.
So if you consider maybe the Anunnaki created us, which of course some theories say, right? Mm-hmm. And then the serpent comes along and says, hey, you guys shouldn't not know who you are. You should know who you are, and you should come over to us, and you should listen to this. Ancient Egypt was full of stories and temples to snakes, right? So it's all woven in there, and the whole Hippocratic thing with the snake, coming up the staff and all that.
Right.
Right. Bringer of medicine and things like that.
Right.
So the snake has always been, and it even says, of course, in the Bible, right? All that. And then they called it the devil, that great dragon. And, I have to say, when I work with a person's consciousness, when I am removing certain entities, they do appear as dragons. They do appear as snakes. They appear in that form. So it's not surprising to me that goes all the way back. And I think that goes back to reptilians.
One of the things that has fascinated me is all of the cultures that would have been impossible to communicate with all had, and I'm talking about transoceanic, cross cultures, have all had images of dragons in their, not only their mythology, but as something that was real. It wasn't necessarily mythological. and they all have the same images.
Yes.
Is it because that they were the dragons reptilians? Is that what you're suggesting? That this has always been there?
I would say that the reptilians have always been here. Yes, definitely. They have a huge vested interest in this planet. They are marauders. They're invaders. They are, to me, I apologize to anybody who may have this in their ancestry, but I was a Greek, and I've always had this terrible hatred of Romans for their brutality, for their viciousness, for their baseness, and their cold-bloodedness. And to me, when I think about reptilians, I have that same feeling. It's like that same, just like you're just about war, you're just about conquest. And we see that in play in the world today, right? I mean, at really, really high levels.
There was a good side to the Romans. They built nice roads, right?
They also encouraged binging, which was really fun.
Yes, they did. Vomitoriums.
That's right.
I was talking. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to go off on that tangent. But we were just talking about this the other day. Is there a good side to the reptilians?
It's interesting. Because you talk about racism, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was in my 20s, now this is way before Ancient Aliens ever came on the air. You know, all we had before that was Eric Von Daniken and Chariots of the Gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to walk around and I think, how did all these races get on the planet in different places? And they all look so different. They must have been seeded. Somebody must have stuck them there because it just doesn't make sense. And they have all these different languages and different ways of speaking and different dialects and different traditions, right?
Right.
Very different. Racism, so different races. So I think racism is very deep and real for this planet because we are different races coming together, really from different ancestral celestial seeds. So racism is really huge. And, when you talk about, is there a good side, just like that, you can't say all reptilians are bad. You can't say any race is bad or all good. I mean, there's individual souls, and Earth is a free will zone. So Earth is where we're allowed to come and experience a different sense of duality than we may experience in our home world. So, yeah, it's very real.
Where are they coming from? And I'm going to ask you this directly because in the last 6 months or so, maybe a little bit longer, we've had a lot of stuff in the media. Proxima b was just discovered. Not only is it the closest habitable planet to us, we can't have a closer planet because Proxima Centauri is the closest star to us. And if it's got a planet, there can't be another planet closer, right? So that was just discovered, and that just hit the news. We've had the reports from different astronomers about possible alien megastructures around these, a couple of different stars. Another one was just discovered this week. Very interesting. Radio signals over the last year, a couple of those have popped through. And then all of the other talk in mass media with our presidents and so forth about alien. It's like alien is the talk right now. Where are they coming from? Is it Proxima Centauri? Is it Zeta Reticuli? Is it the Billy Myers Palladians? Where are they coming from?
Well, I mean, various races have been coming here for millennia. So you have people coming from aliens, whatever, humanoids, coming from Orion and Pleiades and Sirius and Zeta Reticuli, as you say, and Draconis and all that stuff. So they're coming from all kinds of places. My feeling about the most recent planets is that those are more the ones that we discovered recently, that they feel newer to me, to my sense of knowing. And you kind of asked me, like, how do you know this stuff? So there's, the 5 clairvoyant senses. So there's there's knowing, feeling, sensing, seeing, hearing, feeling, those kinds of things. So in my knowing, I just feel like they're more new to the game. There's very old players that have been here since time immemorial, like the reptilians.
Right.
And the Greys came, after that. And probably at the same time. I mean, is it Göbekli Tepe, right? That's
Göbekli Tepe.
Tepe thing. I'm always mispronouncing things.
Everybody does. Don't even trip. Don't even trip.
So there was sort of like that whole museum, right, of all the races that were there on Earth at that time. So they've been coming from a long time, and I don't think it's very centralized. I don't think it's just one system. I mean, the cosmos is infinite, so they're coming from everywhere.
Is ET? Are these races religious?
Some of them are extremely spiritual, yes.
And are they... Okay. We have all of the different religions here on Earth.
For instance. Hinduism.
Yes.
Hinduism. The study of the chakra.
Right.
Who could know how the human body was constructed and its energetic system so delicately, so subtly? In a way, all these subtle energies move through the human body, the base of the spine, through the nervous system. Chinese medicine, right? Acupuncture, meridians, all energy-based. 5,000 years ago, Vedic medicine. Right. So to me, that came from a highly advanced, very spiritual race. And then you have these other very primitive religions, in my view, like the things that are happening in the Middle East and things like that are very patriarchal, very controlling, right? Very rudimentary, very judgmental. So it can only be from different minds. It couldn't have come from one mind because they're so completely diametrically opposed.
With the thought of a grand creator, right? Okay, God is everything. God create, 6 days, heaven and earth, right? And the whole thing. If we look at that, is that creator, that guy, is it the same vibe that the Buddhists are looking towards? Is that the same creator that Catholicism is looking at, and Hinduism and Jews? I mean, is it all misunderstood? They're all looking for the same thing, but they think that it's different?
In some ways, absolutely, I think, because we all have an indwelling of God. So we all instinctively, when we're afraid, say, "Oh God." When we're depressed, we say, "Oh God." We instinctively use the word God in every religion, whatever that is. It's just in us. And we instinctively have a longing for something that's greater than us, that is there for us, that we feel distance from. We want to reconnect in some way. Now, there are those that say our DNA was manipulated to change our connection, right? To strip our DNA back so we couldn't be self-aware, we couldn't be connected.
Right.
And I would defy the whole planet as a whole to say that we don't feel tremendously disconnected. And most of our problems are because we're disconnected. So in that sense, I think we are all unified. Everybody is looking for that one connection, for that feeling of comfort, that feeling of home.
When I was a kid, I was like 21. And my roommate, Olivier, from France, and he was just some smart guy, always had the right answer, European dude, right? And one day he said to me, he goes, "Dude, there's no God." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "No, there's no God, man. Don't you know what happens when you die?" I said, "No, man, what happens when you die?" He's freaking me out. I was probably smoking weed. And he says, "You do this." And he lays down on the floor and he puts his arms on his chest and he closes his eyes and he goes, "You turn into cosmic dust. You achieve your place in evolution." And I was like, man, that is heavy. That's really, really heavy. But obviously he's wrong. What happens? Well, okay, she's saying no. Okay, so what is an atheist going to see when they leave this planet?
Well, there's two things I want to say about that, first of all. I had a past life regression where I was taken back to the moment of my death and after I died. And after I died, I turned into cosmic dust. I went back into golden particles of light that were alive and vibrating and part of everything.
So he was partially right.
He was partially right. What he didn't understand was that there is consciousness in that dust.
Right.
There is love in that dust. There is a feeling so sublime of connection and being part of the whole that's indescribable.
And when we come back, do we come back as a baby?
I've had animals who were human spirits.
Right. Well, I have 3 dogs. I guarantee you they did something wrong in the last life, and they're back here as dogs. But man, I trip on that. I really believe that firmly. It's like, what did you do?
My dog Rosie was a harlot in the Victorian era, and
right.
She was a woman. She was a woman. She was a dog, but she was a woman in every absolute way. So,
now,
and when she died recently, she asked me to do last rites for her because she was Catholic in that lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did she do that with her eyes?
No, just telepathically.
Telepathically, yeah, yeah. Mine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, they communicate with us without words. Absolutely.
I can talk dog all day. So there's another aspect to religion. I had Jesus Christ on the show last year. Great guy. It was a great show. Have you listened to that show? You should go and listen to it.
Okay, cool.
Cool dude, JC.
Awesome.
Cool dude.
He
cool
is
dude.
very cool.
Cool dude. No, I did. I did a show. JC on the show. No, I really. You're looking at. No, I did. He was on Fade to Black.
Okay, so somebody channeled him, or is it like a guy that's on the planet now?
Jesus Christ was on the show. Let's not make. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Yes, absolutely. It was a good show too.
I bet it was amazing.
You should go check it out.
I totally will.
So, and one of the questions that I have is with some of the views, I love saying the word dogma when it comes to religion because they go together so well. But some of the dogma that was a necessity, like sacrificing a lamb, right? Or you had to build an altar and sacrifice something, and there was bloodletting that was going on because God says so. Well, today, we're not, as far as I know, and here in the San Fernando Valley, we have the San Fernando Mission that was built here, 300 years ago, 400 years, it's old, right? I don't think that there's any sacrificing of lambs going on at any of the churches or synagogues here in the valley.
It's not my belief that God, like the real God, ever required any of that. That was the alien overlords.
Right?
Totally.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So today with religion, how do we know what's right and what's wrong and what's real and what is not being fed to us?
That's so the purpose of my book, Freed by the Light. It really is. It's to teach discernment. And even the Bible says, test the spirits to see whether they have God. It doesn't say there aren't spirits. It doesn't say there aren't divine spirits. People misinterpret. It says test the spirits to see whether they are of God. And that's really the key to all of this is awakening humans' consciousness to the point where they can see clearly what is in front of them, where they can use that third eye that we've all been gifted with. It's clairvoyance and discernment and seeing and feeling. And if you talk to anybody who has a relationship with the living God, a living deity, they feel love, they feel guidance, they get signs. It's a real thing. It's not something that is absent. It's not just a conjecture. It's not just faith. There are demonstrations of that reality coming through very, very powerfully.
One of the things that is spoken about a lot is that if we find out that we're not alone in the universe, or if that knowledge is given to us, that we have anarchy in the streets, we have a breakdown of religion and financials, and the world will come to an end as we know it, right? Just because of this piece of knowledge. E.T. shows up here. What is he going to tell us about religion? Is there going to be the big reveal?
It depends on which ETs are revealed.
Okay, well, let's start there.
Dozens of them out there. It depends on who is revealed. So if we're going to talk about the Greys, I don't believe we're going to talk about religion. That's not their thing. Reptilians are all about control and military installations and dominion and control. I don't think they're going to talk about God because they would want everybody to believe that they're God, because to them, God is power and might and force. So if we had some Hindu ETs come back, they would probably talk about spirituality. There's very spiritual aliens out there as well. Of course, many books are written about that. Many people have those experiences. But if they come through, then, they would probably channel something that would be pretty cool. But it just depends on who is revealed.
Okay. And is there a planet out there that also has Jesus Christ as their savior?
We talked about this before. My take on it is yes, there is, because there are certain aliens that I have had to remove from people, and they do understand Jesus. Others, they don't. And I literally looked to my angels and I said, what do I do? And they said, call a meeting of the Galactic Federation, which I didn't know was a real thing too. God bless Gene Roddenberry. Mm-hmm. And they showed up, and all of a sudden this video screen appeared in my mind, and there was a council. They called an emergency meeting, and the members of that person's planet said, look, you got to pull back. This is a free will zone. You can't be here. We do have to pull back because that's the law. And so they did. They withdrew and left that person's system. But not because of Jesus.
I had, he's been on the show a few times, David Sarita, was on the show. And not to get into specifics about what, he revealed to us, but one of his experiences was he went to another planet. He's probably listening right now. David, text me if you want to call in. And he was there, and it was like he went to, how do I want to say? It was like a convention. He goes to a convention. He goes into this large building, and there's a bunch of people in there. Convention's the wrong word, but just imagine that, right? And he goes, and he meets Jesus. The Jesus that looks the same and right. Same, he's like, dude, I don't want to put words in David's mouth, but about the conversation or about what went on there, but it was, about who he was speaking to and had visited him on this planet, and he saw them there, and it was, the same clothing. I was very specific, are you sure? And he said, absolutely yes. And it's the same Jesus there as it is here. And I found that interesting. Is that the same experience that you have?
Yeah, I mean, it's the universe is huge, and so some races believe what they believe. I mean, it's no different than America being Christian and Hindu is being Hinduism. I mean, it's just a different interpretation, but I think it just depends on that civilization.
They all can't be right, though. All the religions, they all can't be right, or can they? I told you before the show, I think they're all right. But
I think they're all pointing to the same place. The point is, who has taken that innate desire for source, true source, and bastardized it,
right,
and controlled it,
right,
and sold it, and manipulated it,
right,
and lied about it, and packaged it. That's the whole chain that messes up all of humanity, because of all the breaks in the chain trying to get us to God,
right,
we lose God completely.
Right.
And
right.
some of that is by design.
Right. Now, if we back up to the beginning of everything, right? The beginning of a multiverse, every universe, we go back to the beginning of everything. I mentioned this on the show last night. I feel in my bones that there was somebody, and it's so long ago that whoever that is today is really smart. I mean, he really has accumulated a lot of stuff, but has just walked around and went, right? I'm going to create, I'm going to create a universe over here, right? Who is that? Who is that grand creator? Is it E.T.? Is this
no? In my opinion, in my experience, no, it's not. E.T. is one of its creations.
Right. Okay. So who's doing the?
We call it source. We call it God. We call it the universe. We call it divine intelligence. We call it all kinds of things.
Was Darwin then wrong?
I call Darwinism just plotting out God's changes. It's like, God.
I think
God or E.T. yes. made changes, and then he went along and said, okay, well, this happened then, and then we evolved in this way. The Earth wasn't probably created in 6 what we would consider days now, right? So these things are just plotted on a bigger timeline.
I think Darwin, right before he died, was backpedaling a little bit.
Absolutely, but creationism, I mean, yeah, something had to come out of nothing, and that's creation.
Yeah, let's light a few fires tonight, Margo. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. All right, I'm going to open up the phone lines. I'm going to do this now. We're going to start doing some readings. And when we come back, we're going to find out from Margo what she needs to read you. Okay, keep your questions specific. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio.
Foodforliberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from Numana. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, Numana is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to foodforliberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from Numana. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure Water Pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at foodforliberty.com.
Did you ever turn to your radio for your favorite talk show to find that it's been preempted for this?
In the air to deep right center. Back goes Lewis to the wall, and it's out of here!
Or this?
And I'm ashamed of you, Hillary, for voting for it.
Do you have a favorite talk radio program that's not available in your city? Just go to TalkStreamLive.com for links to the best streaming talk radio shows. At TalkStream Live, you will find live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All your favorites are here. With such a large selection, you will also discover some new favorites. On the go and still want to listen? With the mobile smartphone, simply type TalkStream Live on your internet browser. Now you can take internet radio with you. You will also find hundreds of music, news, and sports streams. Best of all, the TalkStream Live directory is free and there's never a login required. Remember TalkStreamLive.com, the fastest route between you and your favorite talk radio show.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
All right, welcome back to Fade to Black. Follow me on Twitter, Jimmy Church, at JChurchRadio. You can follow Margo, at Margo Mateas. Jump over to Twitter, use hashtag F2B for the sandbox, and all of the stuff that you need is right there. Now, here are the rules. We're opening up the phone lines. Yes, the phone calls are coming in. Now, I'm going to bring in Margo. Margo, what are the rules? What do you need for a read?
Really, I just tune into that person's vibe.
Okay, do you need their first name?
Yeah, I need their name. I don't need much of their story.
You don't
I don't need
need
all the details. I just need, like, hey, this is what my issue is, or, what do you see for me? And just a little bit of information.
Okay, and how do you respond to, I want the audience to listen to this, when they go, my name is Bob, and what can you tell me about my future? That's not really a good question, is it?
No, it's not, because there's multiple millions of threads that we can follow in a person's consciousness.
Right.
So we need to have a little bit of a trail to know where to hone in at. Right. I could talk to you about your sex life or your finances or your past lives or your future lives or your abduction or whatever. So you got to give me a little bit of a rug to walk on there.
Okay. All right. All right, everybody. Did you hear that? I am so quick on the hang up button. Okay, let's do this. Let's have some fun. 323-825-5045. Your first name. Keep it quick. There's a lot of phone calls here. I want to get to everybody. Let's go to Maria. Hi, Maria. Say hi to Margo.
Hi, Margo.
Hi, Maria.
Calling from Sweden. I got up at 4 a.m. just to talk to you.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Bless your heart.
Okay. All right, so is it daylight or nighttime out there right now?
Well, it's still dark. The sun will start coming up probably in about 15 minutes or so.
Okay. And then how long does it last? Does it last for like 20 minutes or is it like up for a while?
No,
I'm messing with you, Maria. I'm just messing with you. Okay, so what's your question for Margo?
Well, I have about 1 million, but I'll keep it to career. I had a job offer last weekend, and I had to make a really quick decision on it, whether I wanted to move to Greece or not. And I decided to go against it. It didn't feel right. But I'm pretty lost right now. I lost my business at the beginning of the year, and I'm not really sure what direction I should be going.
So why did you say no to Greece?
It just didn't feel right. There are practical reasons why I didn't say yes. I've got a 14-year-old dog. I had 2. I lost one in January, and the second one I still have. And I think it's going to be a huge issue to try and move her to another country.
Okay. Let me tell you. Let me speak in here to what I'm seeing. So, when I reach into your energy field, I feel a block in your solar plexus and your sacral chakra, like in the lower chakras.
Okay.
And this has to do with confidence and self-determination. So it feels like that's been stolen from you, or you've lost that through life and disappointment.
Probably.
Yeah. So it feels like even if you had a good opportunity, and I'm not saying that this Greece one is, because I feel like it looks stable, but there's something unstable about it, which is what you picked up on probably.
Right.
So I think you made the right decision. But I see you being definitely blocked and like stopped. And I think you're being stopped in your life right now to heal whatever this is, because this is very fundamental to who you are and your understanding of yourself. And many times for those of you that are listening, if you get stuck, it's for one of 2 reasons. One, because you're supposed to be, so you can learn something or just wait in divine timing for things to pass. Or because you definitely have some kind of soul oppression or interference. But in your case, I don't see it as interference. This is a wound, an inner wound that needs to be healed.
There you go, Maria.
So
okay.
If I can help you with that.
What's the best way to heal that?
Well, I can help you with that. So okay. If you want to, go to the website for Bettelite and book a session. I think it would be helpful for you.
There you go. Thank you so much, Maria. Great to hear your voice.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Margo. Who's calling?
Hi, it's Marianne.
Hi, Marianne. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm doing good. Say hi to Margo. What's your question for
Hi,
her?
Margo.
Hi, Marianne.
Hey, Margo. How are you? I'm having some issues with work. I'm on a stress leave right now. And what do you see happening?
This job is not good for you. I see too much encroachment. It's stealing your energy. It's hurting you. I think you should make this break permanent.
That's what I think too, Margo. And I'm kind of just beginning negotiations for some sort of severance.
Do it. And
okay.
Commit yourself to healing and getting better, and then something better will come along that's not as taxing.
There you go, wow. Marianne. Pretty amazing.
And you know what? It is amazing. It's exactly what I've been feeling, and my gut's been telling me, and I've been I'm gonna go for it. Hey, Jimmy, say hi to Nurse Nancy for me. I met her at the Goddess Retreat that Lori McDonald had, and she was wonderful.
Yeah, she's the best, and we'll see her next week right here in Los Angeles. Thank you so much, Marianne.
Great. Okay, thank you, Margo. Thank you, Jimmy. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Say hi to Margo.
Hi, Jimmy. This is Lisa. Hi, Margo.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hello, Jimmy. I have been trying to get out of the field of sales, and I left the job last fall. It's been almost a year, and I've been trying to get a new job ever since. And I'm back in my hometown to be near my aging parents.
Lisa, I'm picking up something about you like plants, herbology, organics. Do you like that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Wow, how do you do that?
Are you good at that?
Wait, whoa. You didn't ask her about...
I can be better at that if I had more money, again.
But Lisa, is Margo right in saying that? Because that is such a specific thing to ask somebody.
Well, maybe you're seeing something about my parents, because my parents have been into taking herbs and stuff for many more years than I.
Wow, that is so strange to me. Okay, I don't want to blow Margo's concentration.
You asked me how I see that. So I saw her tending to herbs. I had a visual picture, clairvoyance,
right,
of her working in the earth and tending to plants.
Yeah, you didn't ask her about shoes. You didn't ask her about...
I do that over at my sister's.
Right, exactly.
Now that I'm back here.
I think that you could do very well in that field. So I would direct your attention to that. Either you do it at home or you work for a company that does that or something in that line of work. And maybe if you did sales for something like that, you wouldn't feel bad about selling.
Wow.
Maybe. I just feel like everybody, it's like they look at me and they just think that I'm some kind of weirdo. I really do. I feel like I'm not necessarily invisible, but almost.
Well, you know what? We all are. Margo and I were talking about that before the show.
We're all weirdos.
And exactly. And it's good to be weird. You know, I
agree. I don't mind being weird, but I'm just about down to the nubs. I'm just about completely broke.
Well, down to your nubs. Those are your fingers. So put your fingers in the dirt, because that's where your happiness lies.
There you go, Lisa. I would listen to Margo.
It does. All right, Margo. Thank you. I'll take it under advisement.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Be safe out there.
Thanks, Jimmy. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah,
all right, take care.
Thank you. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Margo. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Dave in South L.A.
Hey, Dave, turn us down in the background.
Yeah, just got it.
Okay.
All right. My question is, I've kind of had the reset button hitting on my life several times in the last 10, 15 years. I've been doing a lot of inner work, and I feel like the direction I was heading in was not really my kind of soul path for me. And I'm trying to find that, and I'm having a little, that's what I'm looking for right now.
It's interesting you say that, because when you were talking about your life, I saw these lightning strikes going all around you. It's like you start in one direction and zoom, lightning strike, and then you're stopped, and then you're kind of forced on a different path. So what I'm getting for you is motivation, like motivational speaking, some kind of motivational work. Does that resonate at all?
I have not looked into that as yet, but motivation, I mean, I can definitely...
I mean, you've been doing all this inner
open.
work. You've been doing all this inner work, and those lightning strikes were your destiny. So they were not random, and they were not caused from something bad. And you say, I'm doing all this inner work. I think you need to talk about this inner work and create a program or some kind of motivational material from this inner work that you've been doing. And you have a salesman vibe. Unlike Lisa, you have this real drive. You could sell very, very well because you have that pow.
Okay. Well, I'll check on that. I'll look at that angle.
Thank you
Most
so much.
Definitely.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Lisa.
Be safe out there. Yep, absolutely. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Margo. Who's calling?
Oh my gosh. Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Margo. My name's Lisa. You might know me from Twitter as Dazed and Amused.
Hey, Lisa. I thought the other Lisa was you. That's great.
Are you kidding
me?
Girl. Wow. Dazed.
What's up?
Yeah, how are you? Have you've never called into the show?
I've never had the guts before, no.
Wow. Okay, we'll take a deep breath. It's all good. Now your real name has been disclosed to the world. You understand that, don't you?
Yes, I'm fully aware.
Okay. All right. Lisa, where are you calling from?
I'm in Toronto.
You're in Toronto. Okay, what's your question for Margo? And take a deep breath. It's all good, okay?
I'm totally nervous. You can tell, right?
Yeah, I can tell. Just, relax. It's all right. What have you got for Margo?
I'm sort of at a crossroads in terms of work. I have a little company that I've been running for a few years now, and it's sort of kept things going for a bit. And I lost all my major clients at the beginning of the summer, so I've been taking care of my son. And now I'm trying to decide, do I want to put my nose to the grindstone with this business, or do I want to rejoin the workforce? I'm not sure where my efforts are best placed at this point.
I actually don't often recommend people to go back into the machine, but I feel like for you, it's going to be supportive. So there's not a lot of energy flowing to this business. And
Right.
I think if you just continue to throw money at it and time and expertise and all that devotion, it's not going to come back. I think you should let it die with dignity or keep it
Right.
very small and kind of pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go into a work environment that'll be not too stressful and supportive of you. I think that feels like you'll be supported. You'll get what you need, and it won't be taxing anymore.
It's just been a little scary because I've been out of it for a while. I've been self-employed for the better part of the last decade, so it's a little nerve-wracking. But in my heart, I believe you're right.
It's a different game, but I think you'll find that if you approach it with the right attitude, like I want to be, just put it out to intelligence, divine intelligence.
Yes.
Hey, take me to the right job, to the right company. You're going to pick an ethical company that's doing things that you approve of, and I think you're going to feel good.
Right.
Lisa, welcome to the
Thank you.
show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa. Be safe out there.
Thank you, you too.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Margo. Who's calling?
Hi there.
Okay.
This is Andy.
Okay.
Hi there.
Oh, there you go. Okay. You said Andrew. Say hi to Margo, Andrew.
Hi, Margo.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi. I'm sorry, Andy. This is Andy.
Okay, Andy. What's your question for Margo?
Oh, so basically, just last year, there's just a series of events that just make my life go in a spiral, downward spiral, and I just feel like I just want to know there's something that's, behind the scene that's doing it, or is it me?
Well, Andy, let me jump in here for a second. I feel that you have very strong mother energy that's controlling you completely.
Okay.
Does that resonate?
Yes, very much.
Yes. So I can't really do that right now, but I can help you, and that's what you need.
Okay.
Whether it's me or someone else, but that's what you need to have that relationship shifted and those cords cut to where it's healthy and you can live, because you literally, she's been sucking your life force your whole life.
There you go. And Andy, just go to Margo's website and contact her directly. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, Margo, why do you think we've had so many calls tonight on career? Nothing about love so far, but career and career change. Does that happen?
It does. It totally happens. I mean, I created the career cards, right? Because people need advice and direction for their life purpose, because they can't figure it out because it's not clear to them. It's not something tangible sometimes.
Wow. Man, can we do the career cards tonight? Is that possible?
Of course.
You can do that with a caller?
Oh, yeah. I've done it all over the world. Sure.
And how does it work? Do you lay out a bunch of cards?
It's really funny because the universe actually lays out the spread before the person calls in. They already know who's calling and what their answer is.
Well, okay. So how much space do you need?
Oh, just right here. It's fine.
Right here? This is enough room?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
man, this is going to be badass.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okay, let's go back.
I thought that was surprising, too, all these career questions.
Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Margo.
Emily, let me just start out by saying it's always a pleasure.
How
I enjoy your show so much. It's just the star. And I would love for Margo to do my cards.
Okay, let's... she's opening them up right now. Okay.
I can read her without the cards, and then we can use them on the next caller if you want to do that, because I'm going to have to shuffle these up a little bit.
All right.
So what's your question?
What's your question? Who's calling? Is this Destiny?
It's Destiny Star. My birthday is 9/20/57. I would like anything she can tell me that, I'm a Virgo. Anything she can tell me would be great.
There you go. Destiny Star, her birthday is in 2 weeks from today.
Happy pre-birthday.
Right. What can you tell her?
Well, being a Virgo, you're very organized. So when I was going through the cards, I got the coordinator card. So anything that has to do with organization, event planning, keeping things going, you're really, really good at that.
Okay.
And you find it. Go ahead.
But I am now, because I had health problems, but it took me 6 months to realize that, hey, you got to get it together. And I've lost weight. I've improved my health with vegetables and fruit and, cutting down on my meat like I could only supposedly have beef or any red meat once a week. I strictly went by that. Now it's like white chicken or, fish.
Well, I feel like the changes that you've made in your health are really good for you, and I feel like you can be of help to someone. So when I pull the cards, I get Precision Planner, which again is that card of planning. So it's really interesting. There's 88 cards here. You got 2 of the major planning cards. Coordination, details. And I got it in relationship with the power broker. So this is you helping a powerful, successful person, like a personal assistant.
Right.
You could be a virtual assistant
My
even.
husband is like, he's a Libra, but I've had to step in and take control because he's...
There you
I'm
go.
going to put as lively as I can. He seems like an idiot.
So do I, trust me. I have to have a handler too.
Hey, Destiny, thank you for the phone call, and listen to Margo, okay?
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so.
Good luck, sweetie.
Yeah, thank you, Margo. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Margo. Who's calling?
My name is Gene. Hi, Margo. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I have some other things I need to talk to you about, but I'll try to set up a reading with you. My question for tonight is that I'm an ordained deacon, and I just need to know how much further this is going to take me, and where do I go with this?
Well, it's really interesting because, like I said before you called, the universe actually lines up the cards. I got the Power Broker card twice during the time you were talking. Power Broker card is the card of power. It's the card of the universe and unlimited power. So this is really about you tapping into the true God.
Keep going.
There's tremendous power here for you, and it's not in dogma. It's not in not igniting your soul. Do you know what I mean? This is about you actually having, thank you. This is about you actually really finding God and talking to people about that living, powerful, real, experiential God. That's what you need to do.
So I should just go forward with the becoming of building up the ministry and knowledge of God and Jesus and everything else. Am I correct in saying that?
That's what I would say, but the career cards have action and block cards. They actually will tell you what to do or what the block is. So we're going to go ahead and pull an action card for you. And this is great, in those moments when you're like, is this the right thing? Is it not the right thing?
I'm watching this, Gene, happen in real time. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm watching her. I'm tripping. Right?
So
I am tripping out. This is the real deal.
She's good, Jimmy. She is good. That's why I wanted to establish a reading with her. I followed her, and I've been on her website, and it's like, I got to get to this lady because she can pretty much help me with a lot of things.
You know what's really funny, and I hope you meet her someday in person, but when she walks around, it's like this beam of sunlight. Like she glows, man. It's really trippy. Okay, so what'd you find out?
The red hair probably helps. It's probably just a solar flare happening on my head. But thank you, Jimmy. It's interesting. So we got 2 cards here, 2 action cards for you, and then a block card. So the block card is the critic card, the card of the self-critic. So this is saying that you're doubting yourself. I can't do this. I won't make it happen. So get over that. God is bigger than all of that. You know that. And if you don't know that, that's your path. You have to figure that out and experience it. The other 2 cards, the action cards you got are trust. And it literally says, I trust the universe to take care of me now. I allow myself to feel completely loved and supported in every way. And then the other card you got is the courage card. So trust and courage. These are words for ministries, my friend. It says, I now release all fears about my future and confidently move forward into my destiny. Do it. God is waiting for you.
There you go, Gene.
All right. I appreciate that. I'll be setting up a reading with you, Margo, as soon as possible.
Thank you so much,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Be safe out there, my friend.
All right. Thank you. You too, Jimmy.
You got it. And let's just go. We got time for one more call before the break. Oh, turn me down in the background. Okay, you're live right now. Say hi to Margo. Who's calling?
Hello, Margo and Jimmy. This is Michael in Missouri. How are you both?
Michael in Missouri, the double M. Michael in Missouri. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, sir. Margo, my question is this. I've recently gone through spiritual awakening, if you will. I've been a skeptic my whole life about all these issues that are discussed on shows like this. I've recently begun to accept that these are a reality in our universe. I've served in 2 branches of the military, and I've begun having memories about some of my service that they don't concern me, but they are a mystery to me. And I'm just wondering if there's anything you could tell me about that.
While she's doing that, Michael, why were you a skeptic about shows like this and then, you know, other things going on in the world that we just may not know about? Why would you be a skeptic?
Jimmy, I would say it was just because I was geared that way as a child. I was raised that way. I've even had I had a UFO experience in '78 before I joined the military.
Right.
And, that night I just said, oh, that's military tech. I've always kind of shied away from the subject matter, but more and more I have come to accept and believe, that these things are real. And that has led me to recover some memories about my past life. And I'm just curious about that.
Okay.
If that's something I should consider to think about, or if it's something I should walk away from and not consider any further.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for being open and honest about that. Okay, Margo, we've got about 2 minutes before the break. What have you got for Michael?
Sure. Well, what I see in the cards here is this this push-pull between the military institution that had all the power, and in my deck, it's called the Keeper of the Stars. So it's that cosmic, universal thing. So your mind is definitely ping-ponging back between those two concepts, and you're having a lot of cognitive dissonance. So I totally get that. The cards, and it's so funny because as soon as you called in, I really felt writer. It felt like you're supposed to write a book, and you got the writer card. And you have all these cards, these keeper cards. Keeper cards in this deck are about major themes, really major themes. So you've got major themes of cosmology, major themes of religion, emotions, spirituality, and then Keeper of Sports, which is teamwork, right? So it's this real cognitive dissonance between what team am I really on? I was part of the military, but man, maybe I'm part of a cosmic army or a spiritual army. And that's your journey, and that's what you're supposed to be dealing with right now, and you're supposed to write a book about it.
Have you ever thought about writing, Michael?
I have. In fact, I'm attending some online courses right now, and writing is a big part of what I'm working on right now.
Michael, I want to jump in here really quick. There's 2 other cards you got: fear of failure. You need to let go of that, and denial. Yes, come out of denial. Own your memories. Own your truth. And then the last card you got is an action card: vision. The universe wants to give you more visions. Recapture more memories, recapture more.
I feel that right now. I feel like I'm being awakened for some purpose.
You are, because you're part of a bigger army. You're part of a bigger army.
Isn't it strange? Well, it's not strange, but isn't it strange that she brings up writing, and that's exactly what you're considering right now and working on?
Yes, it is strange. But I'm coming to accept that there's strange, and it's just part of the world around us, and I just want to learn more about it and get more comfortable with it.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do.
And that's why you found this show, my brother, Michael from Missouri.
And I love the show, Jimmy and Margo. Thank you. I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. Be safe out there and listen to Margo, okay?
I shall.
All right, man. Have a great rest of your night. That's what I'm talking about. I look, I want everybody to know I'm stuttering. I'm watching this happen in the studio. We're going to take a break right here. Our guest tonight, the one and only Margo Mateas. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is truly bespoke radio for the masses, and that means you on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. 323-825-5045.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Are you tired of brown rust stains on your toilets, sinks, and clothes? Does your water smell and taste bad? Don't live with these problems anymore. HydroCare's revolutionary well water systems, available at Wave Home Solutions, gives you clean, healthy, great-tasting water from every faucet. They remove iron, hydrogen sulfide, sediment, and many other contaminants that are distasteful and damaging your fixtures. You'll be amazed how fresh and clean well water can be. Satisfaction guaranteed. Go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Fate or not, things are never what they seem. For the past century, forbidden subjects such as UFOs, backward engineering, human abductions, secret space programs, underground bases, suppressed free energy devices, and other fantastic notions have tested the human mind, forcing it to decipher fact from fiction. Chronicling what he calls the alternative narrative, author Brad Olson gets down to the middle of it all in his best-selling book, Future Esoteric, now released in a second edition by CCC Publishing. And now, you can get Future Esoteric at a special price, plus another free book by just using the promo code Jimmy when you check out. Just click on the Future Esoteric or CCC Publishing banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Go Beckley Teppy. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Teppy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Margo Mateas. She's live right here in the bunker. 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045. Now, Margo, I'm watching this. I want everybody to understand that I'm watching this go down in real time. It's pretty impressive to see you do this. Now, I've brought in another caller. You've redone everything?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm tripping. Okay, let's just go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Margo.
Hi, Margo. This is Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
And I'm curious about my overall health.
Okay. Well, the cards are already laid out for you. And it's interesting because I knew that whoever was going to call in next had an emergency. We got the Keeper Fire card. And this is related to business and justice. So are you burned out? Is this a stress-based illness?
Well, I got shot in the head in 97, and I'm starting to go blind.
That's an emergency. That's an emergency.
Okay.
Okay. So you're trying to figure out what to do, like for a living, or are you on permanent disability?
I don't like doctors, and my eyesight is disappearing rapidly, and I'm waking up sick all the time and dizzy.
Okay.
Okay. There's a couple of things. One, it's showing there's two levels showing up here, obviously. So there's the physical thing, but then I feel like there's some, like if you did a clearing with me, I think it would help. I think there's some stuff that could be lifted off of you. a sense of oppression, and you know what, you feel it. So I think that there is a spiritual component of this that can be removed that would brighten things up and give you a lot more energy and actually improve your vision, possibly.
Okay, I also feel like I'm being attacked.
Yeah, so I'm saying there's definitely something there that we could work on and improve for you. And then the other cards that are showing up are the Keeper of the Home and Keeper of the Earth. So this is like a home-based business, something that you could do.
I raise pixie bobs.
Okay.
And do organic gardening.
Okay, perfect. So you're already working from home, which is great. So I would say continue to do that. And then, if you want to, see me for a session for the soul clearing, because I think that really will help a lot.
Okay.
Especially overcoming that trauma,
There you go, Tammy.
Thank you so much, Margo. I will get a hold of you.
Bless you, sweetie.
Yep. Thank you, Tammy. And 323-825-5045. And let's just keep it going. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Oh, good evening. I really don't know what to ask in these type of things, but the Fadernauts always want me to call in. All I really want, Margo, is to be able to have good health the rest of my life, to be able to have love, and to be able to not worry about how I'm going to make it with my retirement when it comes up.
Oh, so what's your question?
That's what it is. I
you
really
don't
know.
Okay,
so what
speak to
path to take so I can retire.
Okay, there you go.
Right. So what I see in the cards here is really interesting. It really gets stuck here. You have the fear of success and the fear of failure. So in your mind, and then underneath that is the foundation of all of that is the critic. So no matter in your mind, it's never going to be okay. It's never enough because there's that worry that's just never going to go away. So it's about adjusting and realizing like where that fear is coming from, that terrible critic, that terrible terror. As I feel into your energy system, there's just this really ice cold terror, the survival fear. So that needs to be dealt with, and then life will just unfold, and you'll see that you're going to be okay, and a path will emerge. But you're frozen now. You can't do anything because you're caught between this terrible fear of success, fear of failure, and it's all fueled by this critic that says whatever it is, it's not going to be good enough.
Well, all I can say is there's a lot of negative and evil and hurtful things happening on our planet right now, and I think that's what might be influencing me.
Yeah, and we can dial into whatever frequency we want, and we can choose. We can choose fear, or we can choose love. And so I would recommend some spiritual work to shift you and your vibration into a more positive thing and help you get over this terrible terror.
There you go.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, Dino. Now, with me, 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045. Our guest tonight is Margo Mateas. Now, Margo, I want you to do my cards. And so go ahead and shuffle. Everybody's going to sit here and trip. But I'm curious. First off, I've never had this done.
Wow.
Nope, never had it done.
Wow, I'm very honored.
Never had it done. I had, growing up, I had some Armenian friends in Pasadena, and I was 21 years old, young kid. And Lisa, and if Lisa's listening right now, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. Lisa had her mom and her mom's group of friends that would get together, and they would read coffee cups.
I'm seeing like this gypsy vibe thing. Yeah.
It was, you drink your Armenian coffee in a little shot glass, right? And in the bottom of it, it's full of grounds. And so you drink the cup and then you flip it over, bam, onto a saucer. And you let it sit and you watch the coffee seep around the coffee cup. And then they take it, flip it up, and read the grounds as they have dripped, right? And they've kind of dried. And the stuff, I'm using a kind word, the stuff that they would talk about would blow your mind. And it was very specific things. Specific. Oh, $265. You need to pay your rent or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute, how do you know this? And I would look, and she would show, and I would see the number 265, whatever. I'm just pulling things out. But it was like that. It was like these very, very specific things that they would see in these coffee cups. Have you ever experienced that? You ever been around an old Armenian woman reading coffee cups?
No, I have not.
Man, you got to do that one day.
That seems really cool.
Oh, it's a game changer.
I would love that.
Oh, you have no idea.
I would totally love that.
And they love it, and they would I want to say this in the kindest of ways, try to outdo each other. Right. And one was the better, reader of the cups than the other. So what I would do now, although I've never have cards read like you're doing now, and she's laid out now, she's got 3 piles, right? Is that?
Yeah, there's 3 decks in this thing. There's action, block, and career cards. And career cards cover everything in life. So action is what you should do. The lack cards or block cards, they talk about the block and the situation or the challenge to overcome. And then the career cards are people, passion, purposes, jobs, career paths, all that stuff.
Okay. So, and now listening to, callers in tonight and their specific questions.
I'm going to hand you the deck, Jimmy, and I'm going to have you shuffle that up and pull 1 or 2 cards out of there that you're drawn to.
Really?
I pulled some for you, but I want you to pull them.
Shuffle like this?
Yeah. Thank you.
I am shuffling the cards.
Live in the bunker.
Yes, live in the bunker. Okay, now what do you want me to do?
Pull 1 or 2 cards that feel right to you.
From anywhere in here?
Yes, and that's the thing. See, Spirit's always present, so we're just giving it a tool to express itself.
Okay, that one called me.
There you go. See, he said that one called me.
Oh,
my God. Look at this card.
Well,
look at this card. Look at this card.
Don't influence me. Don't influence me.
Fate or not, you're going to freak, I'm telling you.
Okay.
You're going to freak.
I like this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
All right, Jimmy Church.
Okay.
Live on Fade to Black, experiencing the career cards.
Okay.
And a card reading for the very first time.
Right. Now, do I ask a question now?
The universe already has answered your question. It knows your answer, your question and your answer. I want you let me lead right here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sitting in this chair, doing what you do every day.
Okay.
You pulled this card with your own hand.
Okay.
I want you to look at it.
Okay, let me put the deck down.
Tell the Fader Knots what it is.
Oh, really? Okay.
Can you read that?
Wow. Really? Okay, this is kind of weird. Okay, it's a lot weird. The card that I picked is Keeper of the Stars. My destiny is linked to the stars. The night sky reminds me I am eternally wrapped in a blanket of heavenly love and light. The Keeper of the Stars.
Now, I'm going to read a little bit from this chapter. So the career cards come with a book to really explain all this stuff in deeper detail. It literally says, as a keeper of the stars, you are charged with exploring and understanding the planets and how humankind fits into the grand plan.
What?
You are a student of the universe itself. You may work in the fields of space exploration, astronomy, science, or quantum physics. You are also keenly interested in the occult sciences such as astrology, dream interpretation, and the inner workings of fate and destiny. Even though you consider yourself to be a helper to planet Earth, your true loyalties lie elsewhere. Star keepers often feel they are from other planets and do not regard Earth as their true home. You may feel a kinship with one of the neighboring galaxies and star systems, such as Sirius, Orion, Andromeda, Pleiades, or Archimedes. You may also feel strongly about UFO phenomena.
Wow.
Right here in the book, or believe that you have been contacted by beings from other planets.
Wow. That's that's pretty. Wow. I mean,
we've rendered Jimmy Church speechless, everybody.
Well, yeah. Because
that alone is an act of God.
Well, I could have, right?
Right.
I could have picked anything.
Yeah, 88 cards.
Yeah, I could have picked anything.
And the universe wanted you to pull that yourself.
Wow. And the yeah, I'm very rarely speechless. What does it mean that I picked this card? I mean, that's the question. Why did I pick this card? Well, is it an affirmation? Is it proof? Is it telling me that I did the right thing? Or is that just simplifying it way too much? Why did I pick this card?
You picked that card, I think, because the universe wanted you to know. I think for you, it was confirmation. It's like, this is important. This is your role. And you have other cards here that really reinforce and support that. So when you work with this particular deck or any oracle deck, the universe knows what's in your heart already.
Mm-hmm.
We're really transparent. We're not hiding anything, right? Spirit knows all.
Right.
So Spirit knows what's going on in your heart. Spirit knows what you're struggling with. Spirit knows what your thoughts are. So we really want to allow ourselves to really receive that when those things come through. This was a confirmation for you.
What if I would have picked a card that wasn't this? I understand, I was supposed to pick this card. I get that. But what if I picked a card that pointed in the direction of writing or something technical or something? And does that mean I'm doing the wrong thing now? And
you actually did get the writer card, actually. Over here in the cards that I pulled.
Right.
Yeah, so you're asking, like, what if I drew a card that I don't resonate with?
Right.
Right. So with that, you kind of have to trust the universe. I've had so many people all over the world pull cards and go, this isn't me, this isn't me. They call me a year later and they go, I got that exact job with that exact title. I did a reading for a literary agent, and he got the entertainment card and the musician card and the promoter card. I said, do you play music? Because it was definitely live music. He said, no, I'm a literary agent.
Right.
He said, but I have an insatiable love of opera right now. And I said, well, this is what I see. I see you, doing something, repping something, some live music. He called me 1 year later, and he said, guess what I'm doing? I'm promoting the Metropolitan Opera.
All right.
The cards know.
Oh, yes. Before we get back to the callers, we have 3 different things there for me. Again, am I supposed to ask a question, or is this just...
I want you just to listen, because the universe already knew what your question is.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting to have the listeners just listen to how you're receiving this and processing it.
Okay.
Okay. So these are aspects of you and these are aspects of you and your role. Okay. So you as a person, you as your sole purpose. Okay. So you got that Keeper of the Stars. And it's interesting because clairvoyantly, I see this big hammer coming down from the heavens.
I've already been hit with it.
Right. So
look at Twitter right now.
Is it blowing up?
No, just turn around. Boom, bam, bam.
I love it. That's the career cards. They always have that effect. Okay, you love this too. You got the Keeper of the Planet.
Wow.
Okay, so here we go. The planet. Keeper of the Planet is a custodian for planet Earth. You've agreed to come here with a big mission, and it says to reach the masses.
Right.
On a mission to save planet Earth.
Right.
Keeper of Records. Talking about, I got chills, ancient records, ancient truths, ancient past, okay? Laborer, hardest working guy in broadcasting. Much work for you in this arena. Hard work, okay?
No doubt.
The writer card, which I sense that you're hesitant to do because I feel like for you that's cumbersome and not something that you enjoy.
Oh, you're so right.
But it's coming up. So maybe, and it may be another evolution in your career. Keeper of Sports was the other card that you chose.
Shut up.
Talk to me about that. I know what I feel like.
I was a sportscaster before this.
Bam!
Yeah, that's pretty whack. That's pretty whack. I gave up sports for this because I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. Okay,
you weren't doing what you were brought here to do. And here's the other card. I want you to read this one to everybody.
Okay.
This is who you really, truly are.
The leader card. All right, I lead. I lead with strength, courage, and compassion, remembering that the role of a universal leader is to serve. Well, I've said that exact words. Yeah, that's bizarro. The audience right now is tripping. I know that they are because they hear me speak about these very things every single day. And for these cards to come out of the deck randomly like this, in order, that's pretty trippy. The sports card is probably flipping me out the most.
Without you even asking a question. Right. The universe said, "Have Jim give Jimmy the deck. Give Jimmy the deck."
All right, you're messing with my head right now.
Okay, so here's the thing. You have
I really need some Vicodin.
Breathe. You can breathe.
There's moonshine in the refrigerator right there.
I bought you some good vodka today. You want some of that?
She did actually. Okay.
I took it on good recommendation. I wouldn't know. It's been a long time.
I'm tripping out.
Okay. Here's the thing. So right now, these are the blocks that are coming, okay? So there's a critic. So like our other caller, it's never good enough. You're a perfectionist. It's never good enough. Got to take it to the next level.
Right.
Can't ever rest on your laurels. You have to keep pushing, have to keep make it better. Okay?
Right. No doubt.
Perpetual child. Some of this comes from childhood.
Yes.
Some of this comes from, I'm just going to say it, you put me on the hot seat, it's your turn back.
Sure.
Deep need for approval.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
I would, yeah. You
want to be a rebel, but you want people to love you because you're such a good guy and you don't want any disharmony.
Sure. Nobody wants to admit to that, right? But absolutely. I mean, look, in what I do, what we do here on this show, you are not, this show is not a success unless people approve.
Right. It requires buy-in, right?
A whole lot of chips.
And fandom, yes absolutely, definitely.
No, it really, really does.
Yeah.
And I ignore the critics. I ignore the ones that don't approve because that is baggage that weighs me down. And it will prevent you from moving forward. And I'll say this to you directly. There are people out there that think that I read what they say. I read what they post. I read what they send me an email. I read these negative things, right? Believe it or not, I delete, I block, and I move on. And I have people that will delete and block and never show it to me. I don't need to see it. I don't need to be brought down because I need the approval. I need the positive side of things.
You do. You do. And you're sensitive. You're very sensitive.
It is so funny that there are people out there that actually think that they can influence the direction of this show by being negative. And what they don't realize is that I never see it. I never read it. To me, everybody loves this show, right?
And they do. And they do.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't respond to it. And so that need for approval card, believe it or not, it's a stronger card than most people would think because I don't respond to criticism. I don't read it. I don't care about it. I need to do my own thing.
Absolutely. And the other meaning to the perpetual child card is about stepping up into your power. It's about kind of moving from that. I need to be second fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be the second guy in line to no. I really belong at the front of the line because I'm really damn amazing at what I do, and you are brilliant at what you do. I've seen you do it live. I've heard you do it not live when I haven't been here, and you are amazing. You really are gifted, and you're very, very, very good at what you do. So it's about really internalizing that. And then here's the other part, like the action cards are talking about what to do to get there. Okay. So when God told me I was going to create an oracle, I decided to create the burning bush card, right? Like, the thing.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah. Like if I get to make an oracle, I'm going to make it like really clear. So I created a card called Action, and it's one of the action cards. And this is an amazing card. And my angels are telling me to read part of it to you. And I'm going to read that in a minute. But that card means one thing. Go forward emphatically as if the entire universe were cheering you on. That's the sentence.
All right. Oh, really?
Yes, that is the sentence in the book.
Okay.
And there's other sentences too, but it says, go for it. This is a spiritual green light kicking you in the pants to get you to move ahead.
Okay.
Okay. If you've been hesitating, unsure about what to do, you're not sure it's going to work out, do it, move ahead, go.
Go.
Green light. Okay. Go. Trial and error card. Trial and error card says there's going to be a series of small events that will link together for success. It's not one single meteoric event like we all want, right? We all want that. We all want that.
The lottery.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yes.
Small steps will get you there. Now, the first line in this card says, if you've been wondering if you're indeed on the right path, you are on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing. And incidentally, I don't know if any of you listened to Dave Ramsey, the financial guru guy.
Yes.
He's been my client for 10 years.
Oh, really?
He loves the career cards.
Okay.
And this card was chosen by his barista.
Really?
And she was doing a little side business.
Love Dave Ramsey.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
he's such a great guy. He's awesome.
Yes.
And she's tripped out. She said, I just want to know if I'm on the right path, if I'm doing the right thing. And she chose this card, and I read the first sentence to her, and she almost tripped over her coffee and spit it out, right? It says, if you've been wondering if you're on the right path, you're indeed on the right path.
Right.
So you're on the right path, Jimmy, okay? Here's the cards that are going to help. Strategy. It's time for strategy and intuition. So it's time to really, sometimes we get in on a life path and we're like, dang, this is kind of cool, man. Like, why would somebody pay me to do this? This is kind of fun. And it feels like play, but also work.
Right.
But then there's that time when you have to kind of strategize, put on your big boy pants in a sense.
Take it serious.
And advocate for yourself.
Interesting.
Say, I belong at the front of the line.
Right.
I don't belong back here anymore.
Right.
I'm out of the cafeteria line.
Right.
No,
right.
I should be at the front of the line.
Right. Right.
That's where I belong.
Well, you know what's funny is I am hesitant sometimes to put myself at the front of the line. That I think that we should all take our turn in
I think
line.
I was going to say it feels like humility.
Right.
But if you're that good, you belong there.
Right.
It's not being vain.
Right.
It's not being full of yourself.
Right.
It's knowing your divine right purpose.
Okay.
And your divine right place.
All right.
You are brilliant at what you do, and all these people truly love you for who you are.
Right. Okay. I'll buy into that. But
okay.
Like I said, I've always felt it's charitable's the right word.
Yes, it's being too humble.
Right.
The perpetual child card says, it is time. Oh my gosh, you're going to trip when I read this sentence to you. Perpetual child. Okay, I have to find it. It's in the book here under blocks. So let me get there. It's all alphabetical. Look what I opened up to. Perpetual child.
Okay. Well, and let me address this. And you know what? I've got people on hold right now. So if you're on hold, stay right there. I promise.
I've got to hear you. This.
Okay.
Do you have to break? You got to do this. Okay,
no,
you gotta hear this.
We got to break in a few minutes. But what I wanted to say was that you brought up a really good point. And that is this. What this show, for what I do, all it does is make me happy. Right? That's all, and I want everybody to feel what I feel. Because when I say that I don't listen to critics, it's because, hey, you know what? I want to play rock and roll, and I want to talk about Van Halen, and I want to talk about UFOs and the conspiracy and the cabal all in one show. I do that because that's what I want to talk about. I would talk about that if I didn't have this show. And that's it. It's what makes me happy. And if I could resonate that happiness, that bliss to an audience out there that goes, you know what? I want to talk about Zakk Wylde. I want to hear about Dimebag Darrell. I'm down for that. Let's talk some heavy metal, or the Bee Gees, or let's talk about movies. Let's talk about UFOs. I get that, church. I feel you because that's who I am. And that thing, I will not change what, I sit here and I turn on the microphones and we do this show and I just ramble. I'm just being myself. And that in turn makes me happy because I don't have a boss telling me what to say on the air. I don't have people, I don't respond to critics. I don't trip. I don't have baggage. I don't have Samsonite luggage dragging behind me up the street. And I just do my thing every night. And that bliss, I want everybody to find that bliss. If you can find that thing, that just makes you be you, and
that's the definition of success.
That's
success. And the other thing about the keeper of sports card is it's about teamwork. It's about creating a team, creating a community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here, perpetual child, you're going to trip.
60 seconds. Can we do it in 60 or should we wait?
I can do this.
Okay, go.
Perpetual child card cautions you to set aside the things of childhood and begin thinking like a mature person. You have earthly and spiritual responsibilities you've been neglecting. The perpetual child card indicates you've neglected these obligations because you don't see yourself as important or worthy enough to handle them. The truth is that you are essential. You are vitally important. You are crucial to this world's evolution and survival. This is bolded. Okay?
Right.
Drawing the perpetual child card says the battle is on and you are needed. You must look within and see the capable and fearless warrior hidden among your fears. You were put here for a purpose. Stop burying your head in the sand and saying someone else will do it. That someone is you, Jimmy Church. Look in the mirror and see the brave man you are. Step up to your life and let your true destiny emerge.
Wow. Okay, mind blown, folks. It's the taming of the shrew of Jimmy Church is happening tonight on Fade to Black, and you're all along for the ride. Now, if you're on hold, stay right there. You will be right after the break. I will start to get back to all of the calls. Okay, just stay right there. Be patient. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Margo Mateas, the one and only, live here in the bunker. I'll be right back.
And you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-618-WAVE, 888-618-WAVE, or visit mydryhome.com. mydryhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to JimmyChurchRadio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Teppy.
This is Kristen, Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. Wow, what a great show. Man, I should almost have Margo back here tomorrow. Do this every day. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is the Game Changer Network and KGRA, the planet. We're live in the bunker with Margo Mateas. And now I've had a lot of calls on hold, and so let's just go back. Sorry to keep you on hold for this long, but I think you were listening. It was pretty amazing, wasn't it? Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Fran.
Hi, Fran. Were you listening to that?
Oh, hell yeah.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yep, and she was right on the money.
It's pretty trippy. I pulled those cards myself. Right?
I know.
You know, that's I don't even know what to say. It's pretty
I know.
amazing,
I love the sports card. That
was
tripped me.
Bizarro. All right, Fran, really quick, I love you, but really quick, we've got calls on hold too as well. I don't want to rush you, but we're at the end of the show too as well. So say hi to Margo, and what do you have for her?
Hi, Margo.
Hi, Fran.
Love you to bits.
Love you too, honey. Thank you.
And I was so glad that you took all that time with Jimmy and his cards. That was awesome. What I'd like to know like I'm a little bit older than most of the Fadernauts. I'm in my early 60s and live alone and don't really do a whole lot of anything and kind of stuck here in central Arizona. And I'm wondering if there's something else that I shouldn't be doing.
Shouldn't or should?
Should.
Okay.
Should be doing.
Okay. Because there's plenty of stuff you shouldn't be doing, young lady.
Jimmy, I already did it all.
All right. Is there something she should be doing?
Yes. So, again, the cards have already assembled themselves even before you called. So you got Keeper of the Skies and Keeper of the Seas. So these are Keeper cards. These are big themes. So Keeper of the Seas represents water and also emotions. Okay. Keeper of the Skies represents the air and spirit. So it's about, and the career card you got is Explorer. So you're supposed to be exploring spirit and exploring emotions. So this is kind of an internal journey, and then out of that will come something. But the Explorer card is really cool because it talks about really changing and having this total feeling of exploration and excitement and adventure. It's like, oh, I'm so curious about life. That's one thing that makes Jimmy an amazing person doing what he's doing. He has endless curiosity. He never gets bored. He always wants to know the next thing. So this is what's asking to be reawakened in you, even though you say you're older. Reawaken your sense of exploration because your emotions and spirit are waiting to show you many new things.
It's pretty cool how she does it, isn't it, Fran?
Yeah, well, the one that surprises me is the water thing, because I have a true distaste for water, even though I've lived on boats.
Right.
You probably have a past life trauma there, but it also, the Keeper of the Seas is emotions. It's about leading you into your feelings.
That's the emotion. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Fran, thank
Very
you
cool.
so much, and thank you for holding for so long. Thank you so much, Fran.
Hey, Jimmy, I love you so much.
I love you right back, Fran. Be safe out there,
All
Fran.
right. Thank you, Margo. I appreciate it.
Thank you, hon.
Good night.
Good night. I'm going to take a wild guess as to who this next caller is. I'm going to pull a card out of the deck. It says S from B.
You got that right, brother.
Steve, say hi to Margo. It's good to hear your voice.
Margo.
It's been a long
Great
time.
show, Jimmy.
Been a long time, brother. How's the family? Everything good?
Everything's good, but
okay,
I do have something.
Well, hold on. Before you
I need to talk to her about.
Okay. You're going to do that in a second, but I want Margo to trip us both out, okay? All right?
Okay.
She doesn't know who you are. I do. Okay? So, really quickly, Margo, as you're zoning into Steve, what is his, can you tell me his occupation?
I I do this all the time when people call me. I feel like he's got some kind of tie to a larger institution, military, some kind of government thing.
Okay. All right. Now, Steve and I are laughing.
And Global Citizen card is coming up, so whatever it was involved in international things.
Oh, see, you know what's weird, Steve, and listening to that, I'm more tripping about the area that you live in for her to say something like that. And
right, me too.
Yeah, that's what's yeah. Okay, I don't want to tell her anything, but you and I are tripping out right now, aren't we?
Right.
Okay, so let's move. I don't want her to know anything about you. Okay, so Steve, how are you, man? Is everything good?
Everything's good. Good, but the reason that I called is because 6 weeks ago it wasn't so good, Jimmy.
What
I had
happened?
a near-death experience.
Oh, shut up. Okay, I didn't know about this.
Yes, I died for 25 minutes, Jimmy.
What?
Yes, I got choked, and
how'd you get choked?
Well, where I'm it's a nasty habit, but I have chewed tobacco since I was 16 years old.
Okay.
And somehow or another, I had bent down to pick up a piece of trash next to the garbage can, and when I stood back up, I inhaled, and at the same time I inhaled, I swallowed my tobacco.
Ooh, man.
And could not. I tried to give myself the Heimlich on a small ladder that was in the pantry.
Right.
And for anyone that's ever tried to give themselves the Heimlich, that's when you know it's coming.
Right.
You naturally tense up, and it's very, very, very difficult thing to do. Well, I wasn't able to do it, and by the time I realized that I couldn't do it and was seeking help, because this was at almost 1 o'clock in the morning, everyone else was in bed, and by the time I realized that I was going to need help, I'd done run out of air, and turned to go get help and passed out from lack of oxygen.
Right,
well,
right.
But I was out for 25 minutes for my daughter just so happened got up and just happened to see me lying in the pantry. And she said I was completely blue. My whole face was blue, neck was blue. And my wife used to be a nurse, and she got my wife up, and they tried to do CPR on me, and they realized that I had an obstruction in my throat, and they cleared the obstruction and started giving me CPR and started, bringing me back around, but then they done called the ambulance and stuff. But while I was out for those 25 minutes, I had an experience that was, for lack of a better word, spiritual.
I don't want you to tell us anything more. I want to tell you what cards came up for you, because it's totally talking about that, and we can shortcut it that way. So what this experience was for you, and what you're supposed to do about it, is it's a global citizen. So this is about uniting you with the world, creating oneness, understanding your place in the universe and in the world, connecting to the ultimate power. You got the power broker. I got to tell you, Jimmy, I've played with this deck for 5 years. I've never gotten the power broker so much in one night. The odds of that are like 1 in 340,000 of getting this card this many times in this short period of time. You got the communicator card, the connector card, the keeper of the past, keeper of technology, seer, and scientist. And what all those mean is that you're to be a conduit. You're to talk about your experience. You're to share it with the world. You are to communicate it with it. You are to help people heal their past and understand their ancestral origins and their ties to the planet and their ties to heaven. And you're to do that through technology and through seeing visions, and to talk about what you saw. And some of it has a scientific base because of the medical problem. All that's right there in your cards.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, Steve, now look.
When I was out, I saw there were these two, for lack of a better word, hands that reached for me that were beyond enormous. They were 1,000 times larger than I was. And, excuse me, it's kind of hard.
Do you feel like that was Jesus reaching out for you, or the hand of God?
Oh, yes.
Hey, Steve, and well, you have the audience that knows who you are, and then there's the audience out there that's listening to you for the first time. So just let me say this: Steve has been a member of this family for a long, long time, and has been a part of the show. I have not spoken to Steve for. It's been a while. Steve, I don't know the last time that we talked. What, 3, 4, or 5 months ago, maybe?
About 3 months ago, yes.
Yeah, 3 months ago. And this has happened since then, and I did not know about any of this. So first off, brother, you know that you're a member of this family, and my thoughts are with you, and you know that you've caught me by surprise right now. So I'm dude, and for you and your family, let's just get this out of the way. You know that we love you, okay? And I'm glad that you're talking on this show with me right now and not talking with me on this show. So it's so good to hear your voice after going through all of this. Now here's the selfish part of me. This is the show host guy, okay? What happened? When you say NDE, did you go there? I mean, you've heard many guests on the show talk about NDEs and experiences like this. Is that what happened to you?
Well, all I can do is tell you what I saw. Is when I was out, I saw a very bright light. And the strange thing about the light is I saw like a teardrop fall from that light. And at the same time, I turned and asked everyone else that seemed to be, I didn't seem to be alone. And I turned and there was other energy around me, and I was like, did you all see that? And then that's when I saw the hands they were bigger than my field of vision that I had. And the voice said, are you coming or not? And I said, yes, I'm trying to get to you. And I kept trying to reach for him, and the harder I reached, the further they got away from me. And then the next thing I remember then is waking up in an ambulance.
Did you hear your daughter? Did you hear your wife?
No, I nothing. The voice that I heard was a man, like I don't want to say a booming voice, but it was significantly humbling and peaceful. It made you want to get to the hand.
Right.
That was reaching for you.
Now your wife.
As I was coming to, I was, for lack of a better word, I could feel myself getting pulled away from the hand.
Right.
And I became violent for the fact that I was not being able to get to where I wanted to go.
Wow. Now, did your wife take your pulse when you were in the pantry? Yeah. She's a nurse, right? She's a nurse. Were you dead?
I was. I had. She had measured me at 2 heartbeats in a 3-minute period.
2 heartbeats in 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes, and I had no respiration.
Oh, man. And she must have, and your poor daughter, I mean, they must have been going through something. That none of us can imagine going through. And give my best to them. Just tell them that you talked to Jimmy, man, and Jimmy said, what's up? Okay, please do that for me.
I want to tell him something.
I will.
Sure. Go ahead, Margo.
You got Keeper of the Stars as your last card. It says, when you receive this card, remember that it is time for you to look to the universe for your answers. It is important that you remember who you are and what your role is in this universe, and that you remember your celestial origins.
Steve, as you listen to Margo, did you...
Jimmy, isn't that so strange, though? Remember when you had Shay on?
Yes.
And she told me that I had lived 79 past lives.
Right. Yes.
And because she said that was such a high number. When she told me that was an extremely high number.
I do remember that.
Past lives.
Yes. Were you? Tell me what happened at the end, because you said you were trying to get to the hands and you couldn't, and you were being pulled back, and you were, you're getting hostile over that. Was it because were you happy, or?
Oh, I was extremely happy.
Wow.
And after I come to, and I felt so much guilt because I love my wife and my family so much, but I would have rather stayed with God, I think.
That's the belonging I'm talking about at the beginning of the show, Jimmy. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're home.
Right.
You don't want to be separated anymore. It feels so good.
And I felt so much guilt over that for days after, I come back. That it really bothered me.
It's okay, Jimmy. Nothing compares with
family.
divine love. It's okay. Forgive yourself.
Yeah, I could see that too. I mean, once you experience that and you see it and you feel it, there's no guilt there. I mean, if what you saw was pure. Look, I'm not a man of the cloth. I'm not anything, man. I'm a doofus on a microphone. But I'm going to tell you right now, you've experienced something that very few people do. And so you need to speak about that experience. And if that was your experience, Steve, and that's really what you felt, and that's what happened to you.
That's what I felt. I mean, I would put my hand on a Bible and tell anybody, everybody that's what.
Well, it's your job to
tell
tell the world.
That's what happened to me.
It's your job.
And it was overwhelming. The feeling of wanting to stay and be with whatever was trying to get to me with those massive hands.
Yeah,
I just can't describe how large these. I mean, they were larger than my field of view.
Wow, it's just amazing to me. And okay, Steve. How are you?
And I knew that there was other people. I felt other entities. I couldn't see other entities, but I felt the presence of other energy around me that were in the same situation that I was in and was being asked the same question that I was being asked. Are you coming or not?
Heaven's waiting room.
Well, okay, Steve, how are you today? Because you are one of the funniest guys that I know. You and I have laughed harder together than two people ever should laugh in their lives. How is that side of you, man? You still have your funny bone?
I still have my humor, and the one of the first things I did when I was in when I was in the emergency room, I asked to speak to my father alone because my father's my best friend.
Right.
And I asked to speak to him alone, and I told him, what I saw and everything. And my father was in Vietnam, and he was wounded. He has 2 Purple Hearts from Vietnam, and about lost his life. And I kind of asked him, did he experience anything like that when he was shot? And and he said, no, I didn't experience anything like that. And I kind of joked with him that well, God must not have been on your side that day.
How's your? That's good, Steve. All right, the old Steve is with us. Steve, how's your health? Were you affected?
My health is fine. I inhaled some of the tobacco into my lungs, and I had for a couple of weeks. I had some issues with. They were afraid I was going to get pneumonia.
Right.
From the tobacco being in my lungs, but I coughed it and hacked it all up, and I lost 27 pounds in less than 2 weeks.
Well, you needed to do that anyway. So
I know I'm fat anyway, so I needed that helped out a lot. So I went from 247 down to like 221 or something like that.
Unbelievable. And so
look, I just wonder why did he bring me back? Why did he let me come back? What
what?
That was the first question that I had when I come to is what is my purpose? If he let me come back, there has to be a reason and a purpose for him bringing me back. For me, especially for me to feel as close to being, I guess, in heaven or in wherever spiritually we go, because I'm not the most religious man in the world. You know, I believe that there is a higher entity, and without a doubt now, I am 1,000% sure that there is definitely a higher power. You know, why did he bring me back? You know.
Hey, Steve, did you lay the tobacco down?
Yes, sir, really, buddy.
Hey, Steve, you know I love you, man, and say good night to Margo, would you?
Good night, Margo, and Jimmy, brother, always. Thanks for the time, brother.
Thank you, Steve.
God bless you, Steve. What a great story.
I'm just glad to hear your voice, and then later on this week, Thursday night, you got to call in and let's hang out for a little bit, and let's talk about things. All right, my brother.
All right, my brother.
You talk. Thank you so much. Okay.
Later.
Steve from Bluefield. That's why I do the show, Margo.
I know.
That right there. That's why I do the show. Steve has been look, I'm telling you right now, the Fadernauts are tripping. Steve has been a cornerstone of this show. He has, I don't think, I know. His thing was to call in, lift everybody up, tell a hilarious story, and make us all laugh. All right, and Steve from Bluefield's calling in. I am guaranteed 15 minutes of fun, and to hear that tonight, man. I mean, he's part of the family, and we all just went through that together, and I'm just glad that he called in. I'm glad that I got to hear his voice tonight. And I really mean that. Steve is.
I watched you react. You were definitely shaken. You were really tripping. You were worried about your brother.
The whole audience was. Everybody knows Steve from Bluefield. Steve's the best. And Steve, I'm just glad you're here with us, brother. And I've, what, you say things like that in life, once in a while, but I truly mean it right now.
It's obvious on your face.
Unbelievable. All right, Margo, we're at the end of the show. We got 1 minute left. What's up with you? When is the book coming out?
Yeah, be clear. It's forthcoming book.
Yes.
The universe has its own timeline for it. By the end of the year, I would say. I'm just so busy dealing with all these,
Well, it's the end of the year now. We're at September. So.
I would say by Christmas for sure.
Okay. All right. And everybody can pre-order the book?
Absolutely. And they can also get the career cards, too. You can get the same deck that I've been working with.
Right. Okay. And all of that is available on freebythelight.com?
Yes. And you can get the career cards. It's called The Career Cards at Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble.
And if somebody wants to book a session with you, what's the easiest way to do that?
freedbythelight.com.
And you have a contact page?
We have a scheduler. You can go in there, book your session, pay for it. It's all done.
Oh, it's just amazing. Thank you so much. I had the best time tonight. Hey, you know what? I normally would say, let's go back to the house and drink.
Well, I got you some good stuff. You can have a drink on me. It's okay.
Margo Mateas.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Oh, my God. You're awesome. I love you.
What a time. This is one of the best shows ever.
Awesome.
Oh, man.
It's always epic when we get together.
Margo Mateas, live in the bunker. Thank you so much. The show's executive producers, the one and only Rita Kamarian. Show's produced by Hilton J. Paul, Mark D. Kovar. Thanks to LJ3, Renee, Mark Dunbar, Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar, Fady by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication, KGRA, The Planet. Thank you to everybody that called in tonight, having the courage to come in and hang out. Steve from Bluefield, we love you. Thank you, Margo Mateas, MargoMateas.com. This broadcast is only copyrighted 2016 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Margo at Margo Mateas. Everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tepe.